People, good evening. Want to thank you all for joining us this evening. As we talked about when the show cut off last week, we were going to do a part 2 of our conversation / debate. So it's not going to be so much of a debate this evening, but more so of a conversation that's going to be extended from last week. So again, we thank everybody for coming in and tuning up. We do have a small lineup change. The flyer had myself and Mr. Orlando Owens and Mr. Jordan Roman on there as your featured guests. But tonight we also have Mr. Stacy Smiter. And the reason I brought him on tonight because he is running for a seat here in the county for a county supervisor seat that's coming up in April, correct?
Correct.
He's running for the District 7 seat. So I wanted him to come and want to give him some time again to talk about his campaign and what he's running for and things of that nature. Give him some time. And then, of course, as if you all have been watchers of my episodes, Stacey has been a featured guest. So I always love to hear his commentary on our topics and things of discussion. So we're going to just pick up kind of where we left off last week. So, Jordan, I know we was coming on. You said you had some corrections you wanted to bring up from last week's discussion.
Yeah.
And then before we go all the way in, small introduction. Jordan is our resident. Well, you said you're not a liberal, but what would you identify yourself as?
I'm a registered Democrat.
Okay.
Proud Democrat. But I'm part of the age where we need to get past these partisan ideologies and identifications and figure out a way that we can come back to be people and figure out how to move the country better, whatever the policy, whatever the pathway is. And for the purpose of this conversation, I'm gonna be rolling with the Democrats tonight. So.
Okay, all right. And Stacey identifies as an independent.
No, I'm a registered Democrat.
You're a registered Democrat.
I just don't side with any particular partisan idea or caucus, except for, of course, I'm part of the Wisconsin Legislative Black Caucus. I rock with them, of course.
Sir. Yes, sir. Okay, and then last but not least, we have Mr. Orlando Owens here, who is a proud card-carrying member of Black MAGA.
Oh yeah. So I'm not a registered Republican. I am a registered voter. In the state of Wisconsin, we don't register by party line.
No, he didn't.
We vote as we register as this resident. I would love to have party line affiliation and registration, but I am a registered voter, but I am a member of the Republican Party of Wisconsin. Yes, Lord, I support them.
Yes, Lord, and Republican in the same sentence.
Yes, Lord.
Wow.
Yes, Lord.
Okay, but we gonna go forward. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, we're gonna pick up. Somebody already commented. So we're gonna pick up where we got left off at last week. Y'all making me laugh. So Jordan, you said you had a correction to a couple of things, and then we're gonna just start there, and then
I just want to
where we start, maybe not where we end up. So just folks to know, just try to just follow along with us as much as you can. But this is how we do it. But go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah. So thank you for your time being here, everybody. I like to always have facts. When we're dealing with these conversations, I can't be the one who's hitting people over the top of the head and saying we got to be factual. So the conversation around the 8 senators last week, when I mentioned that there were 4 of them were Democrats.
Okay.
You were correct. 7 of them were Democrats, and 1 was independent. But he caucuses with the Democrats. So I just want to, for the record, say that it wasn't 4 Democrats who voted to cross lines to pass that vote. It was 8. But I stand true that those 4 out of those 8, they were the ones whose populations that they represent were dealing directly with the SNAP benefits and then with the federal government layoffs.
That's a fair assessment. I agree.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah, that was it.
I thought you had something else. I was
over top of our heads with facts last week.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have to give in to what your constituents want, especially when your constituents is saying that's what they want. That's the purpose of you being there, even though your party may not agree with you. But if my constituents is telling me, hey, this is what we want, I'm gonna let them bump their head and then learn the hard way sometime.
And I think a lot of that is lost time of with folks that run, I think we forget too once we get in office that you are there because the people put you there
Right.
to run their agenda.
Right.
And your constituents in which who have sent you to that office are running for and need for that particular community. I think a lot of times that's lost.
Because we never asked.
Right. You get to
really
do
think about it, in
self-serving
the last
and
20 plus years elections. Has anyone ever asked you specifically, not even just us specifically, but just as a collective, what do you want what do you want in exchange for your vote? They never say that. They come with solutions and talking points that they have in play that they believe works for us without really knowing if it does work for us. And in order to know what works, you have to talk to the people. And I ain't talking only about the gold shovel, silver shovel moments, but actually coming in it on non-election days and just walking your neighborhood and introducing yourself. Because most people don't even know who our elected officials are, except for the mayor, because he's on TV all the time, or the county exec because he's on TV all the time.
So there's a saying that politicians will check the voter roll to find out if you're a voter. Before you want to,
before they even have
a conversation with
you. You want to have about what I'm doing as
I've been having conversations.
Did you vote for me?
If your ward is on the totem pole of low voting, they don't care about you. Because they feel like, hey, you're not holding me accountable.
Well, and that's the whole conversation around. Just think about collectively talk about like the black vote. The black population doesn't take the black vote serious. So why should the politician take it serious, right? So that's where we have to make the course correction is until the black community starts to really think about why voting is important, how it really does impact them, and start voting in the numbers that's going to push the vote, whatever direction is going to go, then politicians are not really going to, from either side, from all sides, are not going to take the black vote that serious because they don't come out in the numbers that need to do that.
Well, look at the voting numbers. You can have a district of 70,000 people,
and only
2,500 people show up.
Right.
Vote.
Prime example: this last election for county supervisor, out of I believe is 103,000 people in the district. Only 6,197 people voted.
Right. That's incredible.
Yeah,
but I can say it's many factors. It really wasn't. It ain't too many choices on the ballot. It's always the same choices, and then when we're getting the same thing over and over after each election, and all of these broken promises is being spilled, we after a while we just say, "Hey, we had enough." You know.
Well, I like to see that happen. I can tell you, not just in blue cities. You have them in the red cities, counties as well too. And the power of the incumbency. Incumbents have a 96% of repeating, barring scandal or something really just like
catastrophic.
Yeah, they have that, and they have name recognition, they have money recognition, they know the voters, they have the opportunity to engage voters. The biggest one I think recently would be what Keisha Carr, whatever, the school board lady who was in
living in the wrong district.
Right, she probably will be beaten. But I think prior to that, when the last time trying to incumbent lose was the recall scandal back in the early 90s. When the whole county board got voted out, and Scott Walker came in, the pension scandal.
Yeah, that was in 2012. To your point, like what? Oh, I would say to your point, if even an incumbent, if you don't know who they are, people aren't paying attention, then who cares?
Yeah, we vote out of familiarity, you know. If an example of that is when I ran for alderman, when I ran for that position, I didn't lose because of my ideas didn't go anywhere. I lost because no one knew who I was. I was an unknown candidate. So when no one know who you are, people are weary because they don't know if you're coming in as a renegade. They don't know if you're coming in to jump shift. But the way that I view it is you never know who the candidate is if you don't give them an option or a chance.
Yeah, name ID is huge in politics. You got to have name ID. And that comes from, I ran for alderman myself. I ran for state rep.
I'm going to ask you about your
and I've ran a lot of positions. Yeah. Never won any, but, you go out and you give, You
ran on what platform, though? What was your platform when you ran?
So I ran as a conservative.
Okay.
On the ideals that I thought that, were important to me, listen to what the people say. So my first campaign ran for alderman. What I ran for alderman twice or three times.
Who were you running against at that?
Shondy Hamilton.
Okay.
So, and I can tell you, name ID is huge. having the machine behind you is important because that's where you get the volunteers and the money thing. You know, the thing about trying to upset like the apple cart, so to speak, you have to find new voters.
Yep.
And then with finding new voters, more than likely these are low propensity people who don't vote that often. What is the issue that you can galvanize them and get them angry enough,
them going.
get them going and say, well, I'm showing up because I can't do this no more. And that's the question, because there's a formula just like for conservatives to win, there's a formula for liberals to win or Democrats. You go to the NAACP, you go to one church service, you go over here to the AKA thing, and you that's the formula to win. If you don't do those things, because those are people who vote all the time.
Yeah.
Got to go.
But that's
retirement.
ironic that we play with the game like that. It's not, to me, that's unacceptable. Yes, it's okay because some people think, hey, those are the voters, so you want to get the voters' attention.
Mm-hmm.
But you're leaving out a huge gap of people that the reason why they're not voting is because they're tired of what is taking place, and you not speaking the language that they want to hear. You speaking
I think
at them instead of to them.
You got to find issues that resonate and drive people to go out and vote. Then this is where also a lot of politicians make the mistake. On the campaign trail, I can talk a mad game.
Absolutely.
I can say I'm gonna give, it's gonna be a chicken in every pot. Everybody gonna be driving Cadillacs, and everybody get a Cadillac. You get a Cadillac.
Got to be
but until you get into the office and you are a legislator, meaning you're not the executive. You are a legislator. You are part of a body,
part of a team,
meaning that you have to go in and finagle and have to work and gain support to get the votes you want for the pieces that may be important to your people.
Absolutely.
Also,
be willing to,
this is where the elected official also may end up voting for some he or she doesn't like, because now I have to return the support that I got.
Yeah, it's not always going to be peaches and cream. Some decisions you're going to have to make that not everyone is going to be in agreement, but I always look at the long term effect. If it affects us long term, I don't give two flats.
And then you have to be able to explain that to the constituents. Like, why did you vote that way? Well, this is why, and that's when you got to be sharp.
I'm an open book. I'm a firm believer. Actions is your words, and we don't hold our current elected officials. If you look at their voting habits, a lot of them tend to abstain, meaning that they don't want to be put on record for making a choice just in case down the line they may have to renege or may have to side with it, and then it's held against them. So I get the abstaining piece, but then we have a lot of times where we're voting on things that have zero, like, what the hell we doing? Did you even come talk to the constituents? Because we would have told you loud and clear, absolutely not. And or if you actually came and then hid the truth from us, the example of that is this: when we gave that $254 million referendum, we were under the impression everything was all good and fine until right after we approved that, they hit us with, we haven't turned in paperwork. You're going to lose 17 million. Trust me, if we would have had all of the information including that, I would have never voted yes on that. You about to lose me. You about to lose $17 million because you can't handle paperwork, but yet you're making six figures a year. You make more than I teach at MATC. They make more than me. And I'm actually in front of the student. They just sitting behind a desk or pushing the paperwork or taking a photo out.
That was inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
As a voter myself and property taxpayer, to have that entity put out that information that way so that you can get this passed and then come back, not even, I think, a month after, not even a full month after.
It wasn't even a full month. It was
to say, hey, oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all. No, I ain't no forgot nothing.
Right. They knew it was
that was intentional.
They knew if they would have
they had a whole campaign. They used black children to be the face of it.
Yeah,
all kinds
of
of
babies for that.
All kinds. That pissed me off. Man.
That's what made
that pissed me off. Man.
Used our kids for that, and they played on our sympathy. They know how we are when it comes to our babies and our kids. And so I was doing it because I am a product of MPS. So I love my alma mater. I don't care what nobody say. I'm Madhouse 04,
yeah.
And so not only just that, but they played on that. We care about our kids, and I would have never voted yes.
Welcome to politics.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Welcome to politics.
We might be in the same vibe today.
It's politics.
That's politics.
But that's what it's supposed to be.
And that's
chess, not check.
Yeah, and I think that is politics is complicated and sophisticated. And the question I would pose is: are we sophisticated enough as a population to really understand the inner dynamics of what politics
And that's
is
the problem.
And the answer from you would be unequivocally no.
No, yes.
We're not,
Yes.
But it's designed that way though, so that way that we don't fully grasp. Because if we actually fully grasp it, think about the power that we will hold. Think about the power we held in the economic market, in the market itself, how much power we hold that we're not aware of, that if we actually really paid attention to it and really finagled it without having party lines, whether you're Democrat, independent, conservative, liberal, but just a race of people. But we don't get to that point because it's designed that way and not everybody care.
Right. And question for you, Mr. Orlando, when you ran against, I think it was Dora Drake, correct?
I did.
When you ran against
Senate? When she ran against Senate? Or
Representative.
Representative, okay.
do you think, because
That's
from
my
what I was
girl.
looking at,
That's my home girl.
Cool. When you ran against Dora, do you feel that as running as a Black Republican and she's being a Black female Democrat, do you think that caused sort of a divide? Because it looks like it was two different factions dividing us as a community.
I mean, clearly running in a blue district, not a Republican has won in these seats ever. That district was one of the districts that Jason Fields came out of, and also.
So what made you run?
Barnes.
Seeing the data there.
So sometimes you run to use the platform for a bigger cause, because no seat should be without a challenge. Every seat should be challenged. And so that year, Republican Party said, let's challenge every seat, even if we know the numbers are in our favor.
Okay.
Maybe we can hit lightning in a bottle. But if nothing else, we're going to use this next 8 weeks to show what Democrats have not been doing, what they have not been doing. Where's the plan? Why are so many people frustrated? And maybe that plants the seed for a bigger play down the road for a presidential race, for a mayor's race, whatever, a governor's race, to say these things are still not addressed. And you are still going to, and again, you have to understand the overall understanding of Project Move the Needle. We don't have to win every ward in the city of Milwaukee. Just enough. Let's pick up.
So that leads me to another question then. You saying that you guys run sometimes to highlight things that other parties not doing. When you have a party that's in control, that's always moving the goalposts and not allowing things to happen on purpose, what is your response to that? Because then it's like you're creating chaos so that you can run. Hey, it's chaos in the whole city, but you've created such chaos. You've created an atmosphere where nothing can get done. You're refusing to pass any legislation. You're refusing to even hear the other side. No, it's no bipartisanship. It's what we say and where we go and how we say it and how we do it, and that's it. What is your take on that then?
So I think fundamentally we have a difference on how we approach issues. A lot of liberals, Democrats believe the answer to a problem is more money. It's always the money. The money is the problem. If we just had a few more dollars, we could have worked this out. There's a few more money. We could have. No, that's not the problem. You don't put good money after bad.
I don't agree with that.
Well, again, okay, I'm just saying that. We just talked about an issue of taxing. For the city of Milwaukee and the county. We raised the taxes. The Republicans gave Milwaukee County the ability to raise taxes on the county.
Okay.
And the county came back and said, we still need more.
Because what the city of Milwaukee gives to this, because the state, we don't get that in return.
So every year we give it billions and only get millions in return.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
About the money that comes out of Milwaukee, as far as one of the biggest counties that give to state government.
Reciprocal tax.
Milwaukee County also is one of the biggest states that take the most chunk from the state, from other communities. So we
have the highest population. We have
so it's the thing. It's the trade-off, right? You may be giving the most, and then let's figure out what you're giving in the taxation of the residents to the state of Wisconsin, but you also are being the biggest puller of those resources as well too. So it kind of works out. You put in
no.
What you
don't say no.
So let's talk about what's revenue sharing
this year.
Let's look at revenue sharing. Right, revenue sharing is a formula how you reallocate funds to the counties and based on what you gave in. And I kind of forget the three pillars of it, but in the end, there's a formula for revenue sharing.
Okay.
And Milwaukee County is a provider in giving money, but it's also one of the biggest receivers of it. So in my mind, I say this: it kind of works itself out. You have all the big time development down in the city, downtown, with all the businesses, with MMAC, all the major factories down there. The people here, we're not working, so it's not like the people of Milwaukee are really benefiting from all this construction downtown. We don't have the job, so therefore we have more people here in the city who
could have if
I don't know. I mean,
contractors were able to, and contractors will hire individuals from the inner city and stop gatekeeping.
Well, how we change that is based on who y'all elect, right?
Not really.
Well, who's controlling the contractors?
The city controls.
Well, who's the city? Come on with me. Walk with me. Who's
I'm trying to be selective when I'm gonna jump in because
walk with me. Who's negotiating the contracts?
Who's negotiating the contracts for what?
The city of Milwaukee.
For
construction jobs,
for the bids.
For the bids.
Probably the CDC or the county or whoever it is, department level.
Who's the county?
The county supervisors.
Okay, so therefore the county supervisors are the ones who are actually
those are nonpartisan seats.
I'm not saying it's not about a party relationship, but it is about a philosophy relationship who has access to it. So if you say, well, we have the money here, we ain't getting enough black men from the north side of Milwaukee, the contracts to do the work and do the labor. Why is that, county supervisor? Why aren't you pressing the contractor to say, wait a minute, you have to do way better hire job than just hiring a few people. We need a higher percent of the work. We control the contract.
Yes,
so, I mean,
again, which is why they put in measures in those contracts when they're doing a negotiation to say we have to have a certain amount of diverse vendors to come in and do that.
The Republican administration
they have to try.
No, it's not that they have to try. They have to have a certain amount that
they have to try. Once they put out the information, they tried to find the people and the community,
and they have to do our response. They have to go through the process correctly, right?
Once they say they can't find enough engineers, can't find enough guys, now their contractor said, I don't have to have that. The only thing the contract says, you have to make a good faith effort to find the people.
Sure.
If you can't find the people, then they're not obligated.
So again, that goes back to then
our systems.
How many people
got of MATC currently going through the classes, so they can't say, well, we couldn't find enough unionized plumbers. We couldn't find enough steel guys. So wait a minute, MATC. What are you doing preparing for the next jobs coming down the pike so that these men on the north side will be
so there has to be
a strategy.
There has to be a balance to your point is there has to be a balance between creating opportunities for those diverse vendors and those diverse entities to come in and do that and build that pipeline. Last week, we had a conversation about ripping that pipeline completely apart or out from the system, right? Mm-hmm. So we can't on one hand say
rip it out.
We can't on one hand say that we need all this stuff, then on the other hand taking legislation and saying, well, it's a DEI thing, so we're going to take it out arbitrarily.
Well, you still have minority business, emerging business contracts. You have all the quota programs in the city and the county. They haven't went anywhere.
But
the question is how many people benefited from them. For as long as we had them, almost on every contract, how many people actually benefiting? Not just a few. Not just a few black contractors who are getting the bids. And what about the rest of the community?
Yeah. And again, I think their oversight to our oversight. The oversight is on the elected officials who hold these seats to make sure that there is fairness in these contracts and all these different bids to do that.
Unfortunately, but it's not a party line. It's those, like you said, it's the ones who we have.
It don't have to be. It don't have to be party. It could just be just a point of who's the old guard, who's the establishment.
Yeah.
Who are the bourgeoisie.
And that's the bigger problem. That's the bigger problem.
If that's what y'all want to debate on it, I'm siding with you. The bourgeois and all they need to had to be dealt with. Again, the elected officials are the ones who say, well, if we don't have them now, doggone it, the next time it's come down, we will be prepared. Yeah. Who's preparing for the next contract, the next bid going to come through the city?
None of them.
The same.
Yeah.
That's why I say we need to change. That's why I say we need to change in regards to bring in fresh set of ideas. I wanted to go back to where just for 2025, we sent for the year we sent over $4 billion to the state. Madison this year is the first year that they surpassed us when it comes to generating revenue for the state. This is the first year for them to surpass us this year. But every year we're sending billions, and in exchange we get millions.
So question.
Get the bigger portion.
So question.
We actually don't. Formula-wise.
My question is this:
we get less per capita.
How do we give the most out of a county with the highest level unemployment rate?
Poor lobbying for one.
I'm lobbying. You can't. Where's the money actually generating? If you look at the black male unemployment rates, women unemployment rates, let's do the math here.
Yeah,
where are the taxpayers coming in? Because they're not tax paying if they're not working right.
They taxing us.
So where
Right.
So where are they getting the money
They
from?
taxing us.
No. They're
So,
so
sales tax. So sales tax is all right.
sales tax has gone up over the last few years. Yeah.
Yes, it
How
is.
are people using sales? What income are they using?
Well, that revenue is supposed to go towards them.
I'm just asking.
With them passing out that 2%, to me, it falls on the.
Where are the
lobby.
jobs? What are the jobs? What I'm saying.
We don't
If-
have any jobs.
So then, how are the people
And the
contributing-
legislature.
How are the people contributing then to the sales tax? Because you're getting what benefits through food share,
Right.
through the subsidies for healthcare, childcare. So saying like we should get more as a taxpayer, you're not really a taxpayer. The taxpayers are actually paying for the program for your housing voucher, for your for the low income housing and the food stamps you're getting. We're paying it, and because again, I'm asking you all, if you have a high rate of male unemployment, then where are the male wage earners? Where they at?
That
So
just
make
because
it
of
make the
that-
math make
that amount
make
of
sense.
Unemployment in the city doesn't neglect the fact that people are still paying taxes.
How are they paying taxes?
Yeah, that
They're
I was
working,
gonna
whether
make
they
that
doing
point.
Working
ride
where?
shares,
How
there's
they
million
working?
ways of how they
If you-
paying it.
how they
It's not
working
just
though?
working a tradition. Nowadays, you don't have to
Uber
work a
delivery, you
traditional
guys
W2
asking questions.
job.
How you
So
you got
when you
DoorDash?
say
How we-
unemployment, are you talking about unemployment from a traditional 9 to 5 W2 job, or are you because it's
A 1099 is not a tax?
It's a ton
1099
of
is still-
1099.
1099s are definitely
They are
taxed.
So
definitely
let's
taxed.
get- so again-
So when you say
so-
unemployment,
so
and how
look at the rate.
because of unemployment rate, they shouldn't be getting a bigger share. when
No,
we're
that's not what I'm
producing.
saying. That's not what I'm saying.
We're shipping out the most money. We're bringing in the most revenue from not only just from
Mhm.
our sales tax, but
From-
from property tax.
Who's
Yeah.
paying the property tax?
Everybody get their
Homeowners.
money.
Who's paying
Everyone
property
else budget.
Homeowners.
Yes.
Homeowners.
So how many homeowners do we have in the black community?
In the
So,
black community,
but
right now
you're-
we have a
Hold on,
in the
hold on.
black community we have a
You have
30
more
we have a
renters?
36% home ownership here in the state of Wisconsin for black home owners.
Okay,
So
what
we have
Milwaukee?
36%
Where's about
in
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, we have a
Or Milwaukee
29% rate. But
Okay.
if we look at it overall for the state of Wisconsin, we roughly at about a 36% for black home ownership. So in Milwaukee, we are roughly about 19 to 22%
Home ownership.
of
Hold on,
home ownership.
Jordan
So
had-
20%
Jordan
of
had an answer for one of them.
Milwaukeeans
Yeah,
own their homes here. And if you're looking at
And how much they taxes? Because again,
their taxes
when
goes
you-
from
when you-
3,000 to
when-
roughly 5,000 a year
so
per house.
when you don't create more homeowners for the ones who are homeowners, we
Mhm.
carry
Yeah.
the burden of all the other subsidies and programs we're giving out.
Hold on a second.
I mean, I think in this conversation, we just want to center and say, yeah, we're talking about the black community, but the black community, and even though the black population in Milwaukee is about anywhere from 30 to 38 to 44%, revenue is the entire population. So you have to take into fact not just the black piece of the population, which is a smaller portion of the overall fact when we get into these numbers around
Who else is
shared
here?
revenue. Huh?
Who else is here in Milwaukee?
I mean, if there's
I mean, it's
44%,
more-
there's
it's more
66% white
residents
people,
in
right?
Okay.
Milwaukee than
Okay.
it is black
So you said
residents.
you got more white residents in Milwaukee. What
Yes.
about the brown folk? They're
They're here too. They're here
So-
too. They're
They
here
in
too.
the
So
count too.
let's
They're
talk
percent.
about who's getting benefits and maybe.
So,
Oh, here we go.
but
I'm
even
not-
but
I'm
even
just
getting
asking. I know you.
benefits,
I know you.
even
right.
even get hold on,
I know
even
you
getting
leading into-
benefits, even getting benefits
and we
does
gonna
not
answer.
mean
We gonna
that
answer.
those who are getting
gonna
benefits
answer.
are not paying to the
Paying
system.
their system.
So
How
so when
they're
I
paying,
when I
how
have this
they're
when
paying.
I hear this, I
I know you can work a job and still receive food share, right? You don't have to
if
be
you below
you're not
income level,
unemployed.
so you subsidize. You still
It's
subsidize.
not below income level. You just have to not be. Your household cannot go past a certain threshold. So if that woman is still working a job, she still can get food stamps.
and she's still being
she
taxed.
would-
She's still being
so
taxed.
again,
Yes.
again, we're talking about the people
So
who
we
are
can't
not
keep
working.
saying that.
We're talking about the
It's-
people who are not working because again, let's talk
It's
about
not
the
a million
unemployment.
of. it's
But
not-
we're
Let's
not
talk
going to
about-
talk down.
We're not
Let's
talking
talk
about
Stephen.
the
Hold
folks
on,
who not
ain't nobody
working.
talking
There's a
down.
lot of people not working.
We're just
because
saying
they're
nobody's talking down,
taking care
but
of
let's be
family,
clear about
kids
the
with
math.
autism.
I'm just saying let's make sure the math is right. I'm
Okay.
not- the numbers don't lie. So if as men, are we gonna talk logic or we gonna get into our feelings about these things? Either we gonna talk real about it or we not. You know, we can't. We got to say, why are these young men not working?
Right. That's
so
the
let's
that's the
talk
core
about it.
issue
Let's talk
is
about it.
that's
That
the
is
core
core issue.
issue, right?
Yes.
The core issue is how do we increase right? How do we provide more opportunities, more job opportunities for Black males in the city,
I
right?
agree with you. I agree.
Right. And what does that look like? It can't just be opportunity zones. It can't just be private investment over here. You have to take a look at the whole system and
whole
say,
system.
So
what
what
is
y'all
this
doing
system
about
doing?
it? So what y'all
Right?
doing about
From
it? So what y'all
MPS
doing
on
about it?
up.
So what
y'all
is
doing
who
the school
doing
system?
about it?
I'm
Right.
saying for the political party that runs the city and the county for the
Right.
most part, what are y'all doing to address it?
Well, we're
Well,
all right.
well,
Right. The
oh,
resident
oh, oh.
Democrat. Well, you invest in education, right? Which
so what are we
is
getting out of education?
what do you mean? What are we getting out of
What's the
education?
graduation rate coming up? How many kids are we graduating on level?
I don't know right
Well,
now. I can
because
look it up and see.
we
But
probably didn't say, well, MPS is not really delivering.
no. MPS has shown that they've delivered over and over for years.
Delivered
There
what?
is well,
Delivered
if you look
what?
at the Black leadership in Milwaukee, 99.9 of them come from MPS.
And they stand on
that's not,
ground.
Okay.
that's not. I'm talking about the children graduating from the school. How many kids don't
Then
graduate
let's
from
go back
MPS?
to Scott Walker era when
That's not
he
Scott
started
Walker.
to shoot out
Who
all these
runs
school
the
choices
school board?
Who the Black community run the school board, right?
Most of
For the
people
most part.
Okay.
Yes.
Black
For the most
Democrat.
part.
So again, if y'all gonna have this conversation, you gotta.
But that ignores
Right.
funding, that
Right.
ignores
Right.
state level
Yeah,
legislation.
no,
y'all don't wanna do
That
it.
ignores a lot of stuff.
It's not a problem. It's not that we're ignoring that.
We're not
The
ignoring
fact is that you
anything. It
can't
has no
jump
bearing.
over the
Yeah.
the
Jumping
barrier to
over
that.
it, right.
No,
Right.
let's be
And
clear.
no,
We
it's
talk-
true.
we talk
You have,
about-
hold on, brother. You have a party that you represent that has made sure
Sure that
that you don't
that
have these
sinkhole
things,
don't
that
get
you
passed.
don't have these funding programs, that you slash more than they,
Okay.
or you do have them, and then you slash them.
All
You
that
take 'em away.
all that saying we're going to reduce
So-
costs. When you
so-
actually haven't reduced
again,
costs.
What is the budget of the
That's
city of Milwaukee
expand
by
and increase
itself
costs.
without even having the state input?
What is the
What's that?
budget of the city of Milwaukee?
The budget,
we just looked at-
you
let's
do
look
know
at
you
it.
tax yourself,
well, they
right?
just approved,
So-
I
so you
believe,
do.
a $1.7
So
billion
you do
budget.
tax yourself, right? You do know you have your own tax that come out the city.
Absolutely.
You know you have your own tax that
Absolutely.
come out of MATC,
Yes.
out of the county.
But we also
So
get
whatever,
money
so
that
whatever
MATC
money,
allocate funding.
you guys have, you control the programs. You control what you want to see out here.
Us?
Yes,
No,
you as taxpayers.
But when
You have-
Madison
when you
controlled by
elect these people-
Republicans is limited legislation. and
We're
having
talking.
actual-
We
no,
talking
we're
about our
correct.
own
Yeah,
front
but we're
door.
affected by the decisions that the Republicans is making in this-
We're talking
this
about.
factor
We're
down
right
on-
here. We're
Yes,
right here.
yes, yes.
But
Right
it-
here.
but it-
Right
it is
here.
right here.
State-
It is
the
right
state-
here.
I'm standing right here. We're controlled by the decisions they're making.
Who controls? Who
They're
controls?
limited. We don't
controls
have.
what?
We
Who
have
controls-
limited control.
Who controls the
Madison.
books in the city of Milwaukee?
Madison
Who controls the
controls
hiring
everything.
practices of the city of Milwaukee? as
But you
far
have to
as
get
the
funding
teachers?
to get those.
Hold on,
to get,
brother.
to
We
get them
control
done.
the hiring, but they control our funding.
No.
Madison
Again,
control our
again.
funding. What we do with our money.
What you cannot do.
That's why it's called mandate.
What you cannot do
They have so
is
much
shift.
mandated.
What you cannot do, and you just started off the show about how ineffective this leadership is.
It's very
So now
ineffective.
you want to go and try to
But you're
protect it.
you're
Hold on.
lining. I'm
Hold
not
on.
protecting anything.
You are
You're
protecting
lining it with
If
Democratic.
you- because
you're-
who runs the
when
city?
the city is
Who runs
the mayor,
the city?
the mayor,
The mayor is
Chevy
a
mayor-
Democrat.
Johnson
Chevy Johnson
Is a Democrat.
runs,
Yes.
but
Okay.
he is not the
Who
whole
runs the
Democratic
county?
Party.
Who runs the county?
the county?
David Pearl
Pearl.
is and he is a
Democrat.
Okay. So you have control of this city and this county.
And who
Do whatever
runs
y'all
and who
want.
runs the state?
legislator?
The
Who runs the
Republicans.
Yeah, we run it.
Our
Assembly.
decisions cannot
Yeah,
go
no.
anywhere without. If
Has
they
nothing.
throwing
State
millions of money
policy,
fucking
state
holes,
policy,
state
state
policy
policy,
affects us
state
locally
policy,
regularly.
state policy is this.
Remember when you used with the crime, and you said the crime is in
Democrat.
And
Because-
then when it-
because you-
said
but if you look at Republican states,
Democratic cities.
So
that's the same thing.
when you look at
Sounds like Trump is talking to city.
Yeah.
It really does. That sounds
I'm
like
just saying.
that's a Trump
I'm
talking
just
point.
saying.
All
I'm
right,
just
so
saying.
let
If
me-
you don't want to
let
hold,
me
if
bring
you don't
some-
want to hold elected officials accountable, then we just talk it out the side. of
but
our
we're
neck.
not lining
That's
in
all
parties.
right.
Like we're holding.
It don't.
elected officials.
What
Right.
party?
You're
What
lining
party?
up.
What party
But
is
I'm
allowing
also
people
not
to get
gonna-
elected?
I'm not going to tell a person that
It's not
you're
the
not doing
Democratic
that.
Party.
You're doing
Yeah,
the
who
whole
residents?
and they're not giving you
It's the
tools.
residents that
Come on.
live in the area.
Oh,
When
man.
you're
So
filling
you
out
not
for
gonna-
alderman,
you're
or
not
for-
gonna hold-
You're filling out nonpartisan forms, so you're not running on a Democratic.
Yeah, you
platform or
are. Yeah,
Republican.
you are.
Only if you're running
Yeah,
for
you
mayor,
are.
not when you're running for
Yeah,
county.
not even
or
that.
not when you're running.
So
for
look at-
Hold on,
alderman.
hold on. Jordan, what you got to say?
I mean,
Jordan got a comment.
again, it's a complete failure system. We can't keep in these seats blame Democrats and Republicans.
Right.
It's everybody's fault.
So now it's everybody's fault. So
It's a
you gotta-
collective-
So it's
It's a
everybody's fault.
It's a collective
Come on, man.
issue that we have to have.
The buck got to
when
stop somewhere.
The buck has to come. Always stops with leadership, I believe.
Yes.
Right?
Always.
So who
So-
runs the city?
So
So
sure,
who
it always said, but you can't just say oh well, because it's a Democrat ran city and we're a bullshit city and all this stuff happens because there's other factors that matters.
Like what?
The
Like
state
what?
legislature
Like what?
does impact how we.
Not to the point you cannot do what you need to do in the city, man.
It absolutely
Y'all control
does.
this
Man,
food system.
They
about
control
money.
how we make money.
Case in point.
They control how we
Hold
make
on,
that
hold
money.
on,
hold on. Case in point. The memorandum, right?
For who?
The referendum.
The referendum.
Yeah,
Sorry, the
yeah,
referendum.
yeah.
For who?
If you're saying the
the
state,
city?
if you're saying the state doesn't impact on a local level, there will be no need for that referendum.
To
No,
even be
because
taken
because
to vote.
because the reason
You
for the referendum in the first place was because the state, who was supposed to allocate already approved funding for specific things, decided that they were going to pull it out of the
What
system.
referendum are you referring to?
The MP, the one we've been talking about this whole time.
254
Yeah.
million.
So the first one, the second one.
So
So-
what you're saying is the state legislator made a provision in state law that all the other counties don't have to do, but Milwaukee, to let them increase.
No,
how much they
no,
tax. They-
no.
That's what the
No,
referendum
we got the
was. That's
lowest
what the
on the totem
referendum
pole
was.
when it
Frank.
comes to
They gave Milwaukee
houses.
County and the city of Milwaukee the ability to raise more taxes greater than anywhere else in the state. So you know what? Y'all want to raise taxes on your own
Milwaukee
residents?
County was
Go
the only
ahead.
one that got the sales
Go
tax,
ahead.
though.
Go ahead.
You were the
No.
only one that got the sales
The
tax
increase.
If you
The
if you
increase.
look at
it's not that you got it, you lobbied for it. You
Right.
wanted that.
Okay.
Nobody put it upon you.
two
So you
things
went
could
to the
be
legislator. You went to the
Because
legislator.
the legislator
You went to
is
the
limiting our ability to make money.
So,
They are,
right,
that
fine.
is how we make
so
money here. in the
every
city of
every
Milwaukee
other
and in the
county, every other county said we cool with our current tax
because
levy
they're not as
because we
big
don't
as
need
our
it,
county.
right?
They need
different
is not
animal.
the same need.
Let
And
me-
you said
let
it
me finish the
yourself.
point.
Their
Let me
need.
finish the
we
point.
Okay.
use
Let me
more
finish the point.
resources.
Let me finish the point. I'll let you finish.
You all said we need to have a higher ability to tax more residents to take more money because not the money we have is not doing enough. We need more money. The residents of
why do we
Milwaukee,
need more money?
Because you all feel like you
No,
clearly
that
you all
because
feel
your
you need
argument
more.
you're going to make doesn't
know?
take into
You
fact
need
why
more.
we
He
need
asked
more
for-
money.
he asked- he
You
asked-
know the
You said you
Why
Republican
do we need more
legislative
money?
is not sending any funds here.
Why do we need more money? Why
So
are our
why
schools
wasn't they
being
pretending
disinvested in?
like they are?
Okay.
Right. That's the reason.
Ask the
Why?
question again.
Why do
Instead,
we need
sitting
more
here having
money?
Real talk, right?
Why do we need the money in the first place? Yes, Milwaukee, because we have the largest district, so the largest school district. We also service the biggest population with the most poor people in the school who have
Why
less
is that?
resources.
And we
Why
also
is
take
that?
care
Right?
of every other
So
county.
why is
So
that?
we have to
Why is
have
that?
the cost of education. The cost of
sorry.
education
Sorry,
in the
folks.
city is higher than it is in any other county because we have more services, and because we have more facilities and all those different things in place, right? So we have to have more money
That's
to
crazy.
do that across the board. Now, if your argument is we need to reduce that cost and consolidate
That's
schools,
crazy.
and all that stuff, that's a different conversation, which
You
I hope
don't-
they're
you-
having.
You don't
But
need
that-
more money.
but-
So first of all,
No, we do need more
you
money
first thing,
because
you don't ask for
Milwaukee.
more money. First of all, you look at what you're getting already and
Which
what you're
is
doing
the
with the
bare
current money.
minimum.
So let's look at what I'm doing
Does the
already.
cost that
When
we're
you look
getting
at-
cover
when
the
you
cost that
look
we
at-
need
when
for
you look
education?
at the number of people over $100,000 at NPS or all of the administration over NPS, do you really need more money or do you need to manage the money you're already getting better?
You need to manage the money you get.
Let's
money.
start there. Before you
Okay,
ask more
but
money,
that's not the
start
only.
there.
You can't
Let's start there.
blame the mismanagement on one hand and say that's the only part of the problem.
Right.
The mismanagement
You
is a
said
problem.
It's a huge
Why?
problem.
Okay, no,
Because how the
we're
world-
not
how can you
disagreeing
ask
that
me
that's
for-
a problem.
How can you ask me for more?
Problem with NPS, that's the reason why the superintendent had to
The
get
paperwork.
out of here, 'cause they was having an issue about the money. They didn't want
Dr.
to show
Posley?
the money was going-
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mismanagement.
Yeah,
Mismanagement.
And it was
Yeah.
mismanagement for years.
This is not based on party line. This is based on just flat out leadership being ineffective. It's an overall because when it's time for our kids to graduate and they're not graduating as whether they're Republican or whether they're a Democrat.
Who runs the school though? That's what I'm saying. So y'all keep
pushing it.
Y'all
Who runs
move.
the state? The
So y'all move
Republicans. We
away.
need
Y'all
less.
move
Y'all
away.
having us work with you, sending us less and wanting us. To
So
do
how
more
do
with
we
the
move
less
it
that they
forward?
send.
Build
That's
the
the
bricks with
problem.
hay.
Like,
Do y'all think
We take care of every other county in the state as well.
Man,
How
this is
we
crazy.
do affects how everyone else gets
This is
their
crazy.
dollars.
This is crazy
do
because
y'all think we should hold NPS accountable?
oh yes,
no, we can't hold them.
Absolutely.
Yes, you cannot do that.
Yes.
Yes.
How come you
And if
can't?
we hold them accountable, I don't think we should be giving them more money. I think we should be figuring out how to get them to manage the money that they
No,
have.
The
You
conversation
know what?
here wasn't
Brother,
about
I'm-
giving NPS
right.
more money.
Go ahead.
We're talking
Finish
about
what you're
getting
saying.
more money overall for the city and the county of Milwaukee when we're generating
So,
the most revenue
I
regardless
don't give.
of unemployment rate being higher or not.
So yeah, you figured it out yet? See, I don't
But I'm-
give money. I don't get good money behind bad. Just because my brother need more money, don't mean I'm gonna give him more money. Because my first thing I asked him, what you did with the money I gave you already? Well,
Right.
You know.
there needs to be. Look, we talked about this last week. There needs to be transparency, right? there also has to be an understanding of how.
So start there first.
But
before you
let
ask
me
me.
get there.
Let's start
Let me
there first.
get-
I need to be telling y'all president that 34 felon for fraud.
There has
I'm
to
cool
be.
with the felons.
There has to be.
Transparency.
I'm cool with. I like the fellas. I like the
Republicans
fellas.
don't know what transparency
I'm
is.
cool with the fellas. I got many fellas in my life. I'm
See,
cool.
this is where we get distracted,
Oh
right?
Lord, weapons of mass distraction.
There has to be an understanding of how the money works and how it moves.
Yes.
On the first end, you have to know how much it costs to operate MPS baseline.
Yes.
So whatever the cost is, you have to set a baseline and say, if it costs $250 million to run it, okay, how do we get to that $250 million? Right. So that means that we have to have a revenue that matches that and hopefully overcomes that so that we can have that and do that.
Who pays the revenue for MPS?
Okay, but again,
taxes, right?
again, we have to be able to set that baseline and understand how the budget is financed, right? How schools are financed.
Well, how's it financed?
It's
Through the property
let's
tax,
talk about
right?
that through property.
That's it.
One part through
That's
property
it.
taxes,
One part.
That's
one
it for
part through
MPS.
the state, and the
Yes.
other part through the
Yeah,
federal
so-
government.
Share
So here we go.
revenue and
So
federal funding. So,
so
those three
again,
aspects.
the biggest portion of it is property taxes. That's the biggest
The-
portion of it.
And hold that thought right there. Hold on.
The biggest portion actually is not property taxes in
It is
education
the
finance.
biggest tax that we pay. It is the biggest tax. When you
No,
pay-
that's the
your
biggest
property.
tax you pay, but that's not the biggest portion overall of
Education.
fund-
education
MPS.
financing. No, it's not.
Okay, so again, I'm gonna pull it back to this point, man.
And
because I'll pull back to this point.
I have a master's degree in this specific subject.
What is that?
So in education financing.
Okay,
That's
so,
what I wrote my thesis
so
on.
again, your
So,
thesis.
I'm gonna give you facts and talk
again-
about how we
so
finance
again-
education.
so
I don't want to
again-
have back and forth conversation around this because I understand what it is.
So if you understand what it is, then why don't you start first with understanding where the money goes before you ask for more money, Mr. Finance guy?
I am a
Any
finance guy
would say,
CEO,
any
right?
banker would say, let me see where your money going before I lend you more money.
But see, the problem.
in a private enterprise.
Yes.
You don't
Sure.
you run government the
Correct.
best way, like
But
as a
but
business.
that's the
You can't
difference.
run your household.
Government and
You
private
cannot- you're not
corporations
gonna
are
act-
not the same
You can't
thing.
do that. Though.
Government's
can't
job
do
to
that.
You can't
run
do that. That's why
the government's
can't
job
do
to
that.
run
It's
public entities is not to do at cost or to save it or to have it or to
Profit
me.
and loss.
It's not.
This is why
It's-
people hate
It's
government.
not though.
This is why people hate government.
You don't.
This is
So
why they
the
hate man
post
government.
office, the police
'Cause they're not-
station,
it's-
the
they can't
fire
control it.
departments, they don't run out of profit.
They don't make a profit.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't
They
make
don't.
profit.
So why would you expect a public education to
can
run
run
out of
it.
profit?
You can run it. You can account for every dollar that you get as a
So then why
taxpayer.
did the police department just
nonprofits.
ask for $8 million more in the last city budget?
Right.
Say who?
The police department.
MPD.
Well, they can ask. They can ask for the money.
And
I don't know if they
But-
need it.
14
They
million.
You can't. All I'm saying is all I'm s- they are, but all I'm saying is
But I
you have
mean,
to
I need-
understand that government is not supposed to run as a corporation.
What do
It's
you
supposed to
mean?
service the public and
You
the
can run
need
a
of the people.
nonprofit, and every penny is accounted
A
for.
nonprofit is not the
You can run
government.
it as
That's
the
not
government.
profit.
Hold on, man.
not the
So
same.
again, money.
That's
Money
the
is
problem.
money. Money count. Money get spent. If y'all can't agree that money needs to be accounted for, then
Absolutely.
we have a fundamental
Absolutely.
disagreement.
But there's
But-
accounting
but-
practices in place already to account for that.
How those accounting going for it so
But
much?
you're not.
We
You're not
asking for more
supposed.
money.
But you're
Y'all-
not
y'all
supposed
that-
to run
y'all
that
get-
business. That's why you
So
have
what's
the
the
current
problem?
administration
What's the
of
problem?
these United States doing what it's doing and wrecking shop because they're trying to run it as a corporation. This is the federal government. You cannot run a government or any government-based entity
Like you run
like
that
a one
whole
business.
So tell me
You
how
can't do
well.
that.
How well
You can have a concept.
Tell me this. Here.
Right.
So how well is in the
It's not gonna
current
work.
form of how you manage government? How's it been working down here?
But that it
It
is
ain't
a
been
lack.
working. It ain't been working.
There's a lack
It
of
ain't been
accountability.
working. It ain't been
There's a
working.
lack of
It ain't been working.
It has not been working.
And they working on the
For
Republican
20,
rule
30
either.
years,
It-
40 years.
but
When's the
that-
last time?
because- but
50
you're-
years. It had not been working.
But
From
answer
North
why it hasn't been
to
working.
Pratt,
Why?
to
though?
all the
Why?
mayors we had, it has not been working.
But why hasn't it been working?
Why?
What's
Well,
your reason
let-
why it hasn't been
let-
working?
If I could be honest and transparent, why it's not?
You gonna say Democrat?
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
Yes.
What's
I wanna
what's
hear this.
I want to know what the reason is. Like you keep saying,
I think first you gotta figure out how to get the kids in school.
I have an answer for it. I
That's-
answered that they list.
That's
a lot of things can be true.
It
Okay.
says higher poverty. It says
You say higher poverty?
Yeah, it
Okay.
says MPS serves more high-need students
Mhm.
with less flexible money.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it says more education, special education.
Special education is a major part of funding for
Major.
Milwaukee.
More English learners.
That private schools don't want to take on because they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
Well,
and then
we
it says
can take
higher
on.
transportation
They
costs.
choose not to.
High
I agree to that.
So again, if you
I
look
agree
at
with
the
that.
cost of where, I guess education or the problem with education, there's a lot of layers of problem with education.
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, like I told you guys last week, I had an opportunity to go over to Tech
Okay.
and saw over 85% of the kids there
Mhm.
didn't even want to be there for the trades. So that's already
Well-
that already creates a disconnect. I also told you guys
I
this
get
last
that.
week that said when you tell individuals that no matter what you do in the classroom, this country, you will never make it in this country. That destroys morale. That destroys. Then why do I need to come to your teacher, Mr. Algebra teacher,
Mhm.
if you're telling me that you're not going to make it in this country?
Who's saying that though?
Who's saying that,
This is what you have being billowed into our community saying
By who?
America
Who's
is a
saying
racist
these
country.
things?
Who is saying
America
it is,
is
though?
America. America is fundamentally a racist country, and you cannot make it. And when you
No
do
one has
that,
said that,
when
though,
you
sir.
do that,
No one has said
what
that.
type of morale do you think you create? For us?
No one has said that.
No
one has said that. That I don't know
Where you
got
get that
from.
from? Where they in
Oh,
school?
okay.
saying
No one
it?
has
They're
said
not
that.
saying it.
People are. You tell your kids the
That's
truth
that
that
delusional.
this country is a racist country.
It
It
absolutely
was founded on racism. It
Absolutely.
thrives on racism.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
You got
and
a
it's yet
racist
to
in
deal
office.
with its racist past.
But no one has ever said that because of the racism that's in the place,
say
you
it all
won't
the
make it
time.
because you can make
We
it
say it all
in
the time.
spite of who? Who's
We
we?
say it all the
Who's
time.
we?
In our
Exactly. You
action,
can't just say we.
in our action,
Tell my
and
children
in our
that.
action, and in our deeds.
How?
What
What
action
action?
indeed?
Here's the action of these. When you allow a system to continue to fail the children, you cannot produce the numbers you need to of a high school graduate.
Well,
You
we've
are
been
setting-
already
you are
talking
setting
about
them
that.
up-
though, bro.
you are
You are setting
We said that, though.
you are
We said the
setting them
reasons
up.
why.
You are setting them up for
We said the
failure.
reasons
When
why.
you don't want to make the changes needed and the hard choices you need to have, you continue to have the same product. Then you wonder why the kids ain't graduating, why ain't no jobs coming around.
My family are dealing with mental depression due to poverty. So them not having their
Kids
they're
come
not
from
basic living
some
needs.
kind of
So-
background. Yeah.
That's the issue. That makes them
So-
not-
They want to overlook that aspect. and
So
that's why
so
they're
the
not
kids now
learning.
having emotional problems now.
So what's the solution?
How to get the kids in the school.
In the home. Yeah. Starts at home.
Doesn't start at home? Doesn't really start at home?
Yeah.
You don't believe that, do you?
Absolutely starts in the
Everybody
home.
So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
why would I care about a school system that failed me? If I'm a high school graduate or I went to MPS, and the rainbow of the whole thing, if you go to school, you're gonna get a great paying job. You're gonna go to university, right?
Mhm.
I go through 12 years.
Mhm.
I don't graduate, or I graduate, and I barely make it.
Why is that?
So then the question: so
Look
what
at the
type of
system.
parents? What type of parent, or the exchange of saying, "Baby, go to school," because look how much it worked out for me. It didn't work out for me.
But
the best
in your
best-
example
the
though,
best preacher of a situation or an idea are people who went through it themselves and man, it worked out for me. I'm the best testimonial. But when I can say, yeah, it didn't work out for me. So why would I
why
push that
didn't it
hard?
work out? You gotta put effort into it. So this is
So I think if you want to start looking down again when you destroy the family structure, you're taking men out of the household, you take away good paying jobs out of the city, all those things start to destroy.
so you're saying that Democrats are just taking the men out of the home
I'm
and
just
creating
letting you know,
and doing all
we
that
have
stuff?
a perpetual system that continues to jump on black men, tell them
And
how
that's
to
Sure.
think.
Democrats.
How
but
to
we
move.
gonna
What
get
party
the whole-
supports that a perpetual system?
That's fuck.
Republican Party does.
Like this stuff has been decades.
Right. Ronald Reagan kicked it off with the whole
Yeah.
War
So
on drugs.
so it goes back to what I say. It's these issues have been happening for a long time.
But
Hold on.
Look, hold on.
This is what the issue is. These issues have been going on for so long, and part of the reason because we are not, again, to my comments earlier today, our community is not politically sophisticated enough and taking
Correct.
the ownership to understand and take a deep dive into the
So now
issues
you
and
gonna-
the undercurrents
now
of
you
this
gonna- Now you're
issue.
gonna punch down on the people.
No, I'm not
Ain't
punching down on
No,
people. No,
no.
no,
See,
no,
brother.
No.
No one's punching down at all.
No.
You
We
said-
have we have to know. We have
it wasn't
so if you
fair,
go
it was
if you
set up that way.
right, you have to be able to go into
Led by
our
the
communities.
Republican Party.
You have to go down, be able to go down in our community and say, "Hey, do you know what a county executive does? Do you know what a county do? Do you know how MPS is funded?"
A lot of people don't do that.
That's our fault. That's
Okay,
everyone's
so
fault.
then when you fail to communicate, you can't turn around and say, well, the reason why you're not getting ahead because you're not sophisticated enough. No, you are the teacher, and you fail to articulate what your job is as running for like elected office. What is county government versus city government? Why is it important that you vote?
Right.
So all the things.
Well, those things
so
are taught in
again,
school.
Are they really?
They
They're
should
not.
be.
They're not taught in school anymore.
should
They're
be.
not talking.
They
So I
took
got
it
two-
out.
I got-
Again,
I got-
they took it out.
We had-
Whose party is responsible
Again,
for taking that
y'all-
out?
We had it.
Y'all talking in
Party was
circles.
responsible.
We're not
y'all
talking in
talking
circles.
We're not talking.
You're
talking
talking in
circles.
circles, sir.
No,
That's like
you're
you do.
You
Who took it out of schools?
You've been talking in
That's
circles.
how
Who
you
took it out
do
of
it.
schools? I'm just asking. I mean, again, who's running the school?
We know.
Who
We
controls
we know the
curriculum?
answers to that.
You
This
do
is
know the answer.
this
right?
is why
You run
outside of this show, I don't have these conversations with MAGA people, Democrat people, other people who don't
Delusional.
take the initiative enough to study the issue.
Right.
Because you just
What are
get back
studying?
and forth.
What are you studying?
What do you
What
mean?
you
What are we
studying?
studying?
So we need another study to see why NPS is failing. You another study?
No.
What are you studying?
I'm not even saying that. NPS.
Okay, why is the city?
We know
failing?
why NPS
Why
study.
is it
Everybody
failing?
knows.
We
Everybody
talked
knows why
about that.
NPS is
Why
failure.
is the
I'll tell you why
city
NPS is failure right now. Poverty.
Yes, that's the main.
How do you address
That's the
poverty?
answer.
How do you
How do you address poverty?
How do
Well,
you
you
address poverty?
increase access to quality education. You
Hold on.
increase job
Hold on.
programs
Hold
and bring
on.
them back in.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let me
What is
finish.
quality
Let me
education
finish.
then? What is quality education?
What do you mean? What is quality?
You just
education?
asked. You said, well, the reason why NPS is failing is because of poverty. Your first response is, well, you need to change the education system by offering a better, high quality level education.
I didn't say all that. I said, how do you eliminate poverty? You increase quality access to education.
Who controls
One.
access to education in this city?
The school board.
School board.
Take the city.
You said the same thing,
That's an
right?
irrelevant
So when you
argument. That's a
don't
irrelevant
hold- when you
point to
don't
this
hold the
argument.
officials accountable for not
That's
giving
how we. That's
that
how we.
quality.
That's how we circumvent the whole discussion because we get into distractions like that. That is not. That is not what we're talking about.
That's not
You
what
just
we're
said.
talking
You
about.
just said.
But
You
you
need to
didn't
hide.
Now we're
just
talking
answer.
about.
I'm jumping on the first thing he said. He said you.
But you don't jump on the first thing. I
Hold
said.
on,
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm
Your
saying.
first rebuttal was we need to increase access to quality education.
Right? Don't you agree? We need to increase access to quality education.
Who controls the level of quality of education?
That's not increasing quality education.
Who
Like
control- who
again, it's
controls
That
like
does
that?
nothing.
that's not what I'm
Who's-
talking
who's
about.
the person who say, you know what? We need to vote on these initiatives. We need to change how we do education. We need to do this with education. We need to have these classes. Who is that person?
Sure. So you're on the local level, the school board. Now what? What's next?
Get the right people on the school board who have your idea of what quality education is and elect those people.
Absolutely.
And change the system.
I agree with you. That's not what I'm saying, though. Okay. So the next part,
We're not disagreeing.
the next part around eliminating poverty around quality education is you do a robust job program where you bring jobs back to the city to start getting these educated people access to jobs. The
So
third
let's- so
part,
let me-
hold on.
so go to
The
the second
third
point.
part to increase the eliminating poverty is to give people access to healthcare so that they're not going into bankruptcy when they break a fucking finger. So that's the third thing.
Let's go to the second point about employment. How do you change the environment so an employer wants to come to the city?
How do you change the environment?
So how do you attract them to come to the city?
The reason why they're not attracted to come to the city is because we have an uneducated population, because we have not, on a holistic level,
you back to
increase.
education.
That's every education
or
is the issue.
If you don't educate people, the companies won't come.
Let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Are we all under the same agreement that NPS sucks?
No, we're not.
Are we talking about specifically
No, we're not.
MPS
We're
right
not.
now? No, I don't think MPS
You
sucks.
keep mentioning education. And here in Milwaukee,
but
NPS is education.
Sure. MPS does not suck. MPS has some bad schools.
Yes.
MPS has had some issues with transparency and mismanagement of finances.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Is that not a bad school?
Overall.
That sucks.
That doesn't
That
mean
sucks.
you
That
can't say it
sucks.
sucks when 20% of that is happening is bad and the other 80% is good. Right?
80% of the school is good.
You say what?
80% of APS is good. So
What's that?
Y'all
The leadership was bad. The leadership is gone. So
is bad.
okay.
Is bad.
Right.
Is bad.
Look.
Always been bad.
Fine. They just changed the leadership.
Again, so you're going to now look back and say, you know, all the years of failed NPS superintendents we had. We
No.
pushed the company out.
They were not.
No.
We had
No.
Dr. Howard Fuller was a great superintendent.
Yes.
Dr. Driver was a great superintendent.
Yes.
The
Posey
numbers, the
sucked.
numbers.
Sucked.
The
Yes.
numbers.
Okay.
Where was the graduation rates under? How many kids actually graduated on level or above level? You say,
Okay.
tell
But
me,
then you
run
go
the
again.
numbers. Run the numbers.
But that's what we talked about before,
Run
sir. When
the
I told you
numbers.
about
Run
that.
the numbers.
But I told you about that before. Is that you cannot keep downgrading a administration when y'all fail, and say y'all Republicans cut $800 and something $50 million on a school
You
system.
just said how powerful
Yeah.
Posey was,
But
and
you
how
can't-
Fuller was.
No one said.
Y'all-
I didn't say
So
anything about
tell
Dr.
me-
Fuller.
You can't.
You can't.
say, well, you know what, y'all? Hold on. You can't say I'm gonna cut $850 million from your
Right.
budget and then say, you know what? Y'all failing. Y'all not
Terrible.
graduating people.
Yeah, they-
You don't have no programs in your schools. Your schools are dilapidated. Blah blah blah. blah. You just cut $1 million
We just
of
took
funding.
850 million from
If
you.
you equate success to money, see, success don't have that. We were
Who's
successful.
equating
Government is all resources in the
Hold on.
right.
Hold on.
Because when you're using outdated resources, outdated books, outdated equipment.
Absolutely are.
Prime example of that. Let's look at high school. How much money did they
Because
spend?
they spend it on
And
other
let's look at their graduation
They
rate.
spend it on other things.
MPS sucks. I'm just saying.
Look at the number, y'all. They try. They're protective because
We're not
They're
being
protective.
protective.
They're protective. They're protective.
But it took
their money.
MPS has
They took money.
issues. Like nobody's saying MPS has issues.
And y'all
Again,
cool with that.
we're not
Y'all
under,
cool with that.
again,
You cool giving
we're simplifying these issues to make a point that's irrelevant to the conversation, which is why our community doesn't understand the nuances of the conversation.
It's not irrelevant.
Ricochet is throwing it to the river.
No, I'm just
response.
Okay, MPS
So
can suck all it wants. MPS, I don't think MPS sucks, but for the purpose of this conversation, let's just say MPS sucks.
Okay.
Cool. How do we move it forward? What's the solution?
Starts with the head.
Starts with the head. We have replaced the head of MPS with Dr. Casellas, who is trying to do some of these different things. Are we going to give her a chance to do that?
I don't know what
Right? Are we going to replace the school board when the elections come around and put people in there to do that?
We'll see.
Before that, are we going to have people who run for the school board who understand how what it is and what it does?
The school board?
Right.
Yeah. Again, these are questions you have to ask the individuals that run this city. Are you going to find great candidates? Are you going to find a great superintendent? Are you going to find a board that say, you know what, I like the vision. What this?
But you know how the machine
hold on, my friend.
works,
Hold on, my
though.
friend. It's not about the machine. Again, you can't continue to cry foul and you file.
I'm not crying foul about anything.
No,
Sound like you're probably crying foul about everything. I'm acknowledging the problem. I'm acknowledging the problem that there's some issues that have to be addressed. We have to have competent people, to your point, I'll give it to you, that are running for these school board seats who understand it. We have to have competent people who are running for county level supervisor who understand when the budget comes from the state level, how do we have those negotiations and negotiate a bid contract? Right. In the common council, we have to have all the people who understand the dynamics of how to run a municipality. Right. That's not a Democrat or Republican fault. That is a people fault who are not educated, to back to my point, who don't have the information to understand what is happening and why it's happening this way for 80 years.
So you saying it's the voters' fault then?
It's gonna be our fault from your home.
She pushed me to 8 o'clock. She just said,
it's the voters. The voters need to be more educated.
I got some questions I need to ask.
Because this conversation got derailed.
Oh, you did? Okay, perfect. So I got some questions I need to ask you, sir.
Yeah.
Because
I still got to cook dinner for my kids.
Right.
So, you know.
But you being
he's a good dad. Sound like
most black men are. Other than the narrative that gets put out there,
I love my
we are wonderful fathers and caretakers of our home. But speaking of black dads, we have you say you like to avail yourself as being black MAGA, right? I just have to ask you a question since we did local. I want to go federal here. Okay. We've seen job losses in the 3 of past 7 months, something we hadn't seen in years, and we hadn't seen that during Biden's presidency. So at what point does this become Trump's economy? Sure. Where he can no longer try to blame Biden for everything that's going wrong?
Oh, he got some paper.
A record number of layoffs, job losses, a 4-year high in unemployment, and loss in manufacturing jobs in 2025, historically low consumer confidence, and rising inflation.
Joe Biden.
They're gonna blame. Let's preempt this argument. Joe Biden's fault.
Obama. Obama.
Go ahead.
I think you
Major Taylor Green. You gonna throw Obama in there?
So I don't have my year review that the president gave a couple nights ago, but I will say this.
That's bullshit.
That was
but
I
will say this.
But I will say this. What about weed? I like weed now. I like weed.
Here it comes. That's an issue that's going to get the black pandering black folks to vote.
Let's run here.
Right the day before the Epstein file comes out too. Oh, that's a distraction. Okay.
So let's
marijuana is not legal,
but is that
federally or
this morning? So this morning is so this morning we saw that the GDP grew from 3.8 to 4.3
from where?
Second quarter.
Where that come
to
from?
The third quarter.
Where that come from?
This morning we just
from where?
Yeah.
Reporting from who?
What's the source in that?
Reporting
because that can't be true if the
Okay,
employment rate is still
So
going
then-
down
so then-
and the job
so
rate is
then-
still
That
going
wasn't Fox
down.
News
and-
business,
and-
was it?
then
That
it
wasn't
goes
Fox
to
News
October.
business, but
Fox-
true.
Fox
Is it
News-
what? Say it again.
Fox News
Oh,
business.
Fox.
Oh my
there we
God,
go.
we said
Okay.
Fox
Fox
News.
News business is a source. So let's
No.
No,
No.
they are not.
Consumer
They
spending
are
has
not.
been
But
driving
go
the
ahead.
numbers. So consumer spending is up. The
Of course it's up.
Let me finish. So we can have that. Inflation is the lowest it has been in.
No.
These down
Nope.
to 2.7.
No,
right
no,
direction.
no.
Wages are up. The next report coming out on how our
What report? Because this administration has
I'm just
taken all the reports from coming out.
I'm just running.
Correct.
I'm just running the numbers.
So you
The numbers
so,
from
I'm
who?
running the
so they're not
numbers.
public
Oh,
reports. They're
yes.
coming from Fox News and the administration
From
is
Fox
saying
News.
what?
Right.
So you don't trust the
No,
administration.
I
No,
really don't trust the
absolutely
administration.
not.
They refuse to release the
We
numbers
can
for
look at
October.
Google
And I'm gonna take another step
job
further and say,
numbers.
hell no.
Let me say this.
I don't trust this administration
I
numbers.
saw my stock portfolio this morning. Did you check yours?
That has
No.
nothing. Your stock portfolio has nothing to do with inflation.
Good to me.
It has nothing to do with
Nothing to do with
inflation.
Man, if you in the
Nothing to do with
S&P
inflation.
500,
I'm
you gonna
just
see a
I'm
growth
just saying.
rate
Fox-
every year.
I'm just saying.
Fox has been sued for $750 million for defamation
Right.
because putting out lies and things like that.
And-
I
and
am
that
not
thing-
listening.
Who's that? It's a CNN got sued just now. Who's that?
And you know why CNN gets sued?
What
You,
got
you know what
split.
that's setting up for, right?
I don't know what's going
It's called dictatorship.
I don't know what
It's called Nazism.
But what I'm just
That's
saying,
what
He
it's called.
sues everyone who does not agree with
Because they don't agree with you and they put out true facts. Now you want to sue them for saying disparaging. That's crap.
Don't hate the source.
You can sue all day. People can
But-
sue all day.
I just put out the numbers.
You
Y'all
just put out the
may not
numbers.
like 'em.
No, wait,
So
hold
that's-
on. You got a whole page of stuff here. Continue to read.
I just kind of ran over.
Hey, he got that from Fox 6 News.
I want to hear some more
I
news.
hit the major points already.
Oh,
The
okay,
economic
that was
growth
it. That was it.
surges for the
But that
first
didn't
time.
answer the question,
The
though, sir.
economy growth surges for the first
didn't answer the
time
question.
in 2 years. So
No,
I'm
it
just-
didn't.
I'm just saying.
Peace, my brother.
Peace, bro.
That did not answer the question, though, sir.
I just gave you what I gave you my.
You gave me a couple of equations look like from algebra class about
Hey, so let me just do one
that's
simple
what it's false.
let me just do one
Conservatives here
guy.
illegal.
Let's get the weed going.
Let me just get one simple fact check on this nonsense
please,
before we go there because
please.
I went to CNBC.
That's a source.
No, it's personal finance.
CB and
Here's the inflation breakdown using multiple in one chart. The consumer price index declined unexpectedly in
Thank
November
you.
2025.
Thank
It
you.
was the first CPI report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics since government shutdown ended last year. Economists says that the
Uh-oh.
inflation number should be interpreted with cause-induced spotty data collection during this recent shutdown.
Hmm.
What do you say?
Again,
Spotty
the
information.
inflation. If you want to trust,
What do you
CBN,
say?
If you want to trust
The-
government as a source,
The
that's not a
key
source.
inflation
That's
barometer
CBN,
rose
that's CNN.
2.7% in
So
November
here we
from a
go.
year earlier.
Again,
The Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is under this administration, right? That actually says that it rose 2.7% in November.
It dropped. It's
No, it
Wait,
says
Daniel.
rose.
2.7
The
right now.
consumer price
So
index,
down,
a key
it's
inflation
down
barometer,
2.7
rose 2.7 in
All I
November
can
from a
tell you
year
this, my
earlier.
friend, spending is up. Consumer
Spending is up.
spending is up.
Sure,
People
sure.
feeling good right now. Our GDP has went from 3.8 to 4.3.
That's a lie, y'all telling
So
me.
so
lie
again,
y'all telling
so
me.
now it's a
People not
lie.
feeling good. People-
Now
people
it's
are
a
not-
lie.
people are not
Now
feeling
it's a
good.
lie.
I'm just
saying,
people are
What
not
was
feeling
those
good.
polls that just came out last week
People
that
are not
said
feeling
that 50% of the American people believe that the economy is not doing good, even though
People see
and they
it.
released those numbers
Although-
2 days right after he put out that
Although
fake.
consumer
he gave his
spending is up
mid-year.
because consumer confidence is going in the right direction.
It's the
So
holiday.
It's
you don't
not.
spend
It's
money.
holiday
not, though.
spending.
You don't spend money.
It's not,
You don't
though.
spend
It's
money.
not.
You don't have money.
Okay, since we got nothing here, I got another question.
Nothing.
All
you
right.
you don't like the source. Yeah, that's fine. You don't like the source. That's
Well, because the source is bullshit.
you
If
don't
the
have to
source
like the
is
source.
credible, I'll go with it.
No, you don't like the source.
but
don't
you have
like
a
Fox.
news
So again,
If-
I have no
because they have-
problem.
If the
because
source
I have
was
no
credible,
problem.
they would release
I
it
have
publicly
no
like they have for the
Again,
last
I have
50
no
years.
problem. I have no problem.
What's
I
the-
have no problem at all providing other sources to back up that source.
That's
Just
you
like
didn't back up that source.
Healthcare. Did y'all talk about healthcare yet? We just got
We're
passed
gonna
on the
end
house. On the house.
Yeah, but y'all did that. But
we did talk about the healthcare.
but
We did
y'all
talk
did the plan that was already in place.
No, we
That-
just
about
passed
healthcare.
that. We're gonna
Okay,
pass the Senate,
so
but
you
we're gonna have
all,
healthcare.
as the party of the Christians, it says you all claim to be the party for family, Christian, and values. Can you please showcase? Can you please showcase any examples
I
of
like
Trump?
Nicki Minaj. I like her.
Hold on, I ain't saying nothing about Nicki Minaj. She's
Man,
nothing.
she married
Can
to a
you please
pedophile.
showcase
I like
any
it.
examples
He's not
of
worth
Trump?
my
Boss. ain't
Hold
he?
on.
I'm just saying.
How you gonna answer the question? You ain't listening to me. Can you please showcase any examples of Trump regularly doing anything that resembles the teachings of Jesus Christ or that of a loving and dedicated family man? All we know is that he spends most of his weekends, especially on Sundays, golfing and has cheated on all of his wives, including the current third lady. That's what I call her.
So I would say
Third.
this. I would say you without fault or sin, please cast the first stone. Please cast the first stone. For all you ones who are so impure, you make sure
Y'all
you
hear
cast
this?
the first stone. All you pocket guys running to complete the Powerball tonight and another night, please make sure you cast the first stone. You so righteous individuals, please do
Fine.
so.
So does it
Please
make
do
it
so.
right?
Please
Does it
do
make
so.
it right?
Please
So
do so.
you
I'm
call
just
yourself a
asking.
Christian man,
Is that a
correct?
representation
Christian
of
man.
Republican
Yeah.
conservative
You're a
family
Christian man,
values?
right?
It's not Christ.
You a believer?
I'm a believer.
Believer or are you a Christian man?
I'm a believer.
Okay. Are you a minister?
I am a minister.
So
Oh.
you follow the teachings of Christ.
There you go.
Okay. So this man that you follow,
This man that I voted for,
you follow him.
I voted for him.
Well, you follow him because you
Well,
sitting here defending him.
I voted for him because I like his policy over the other side of what they have to offer.
Okay.
I
So
don't support. I don't
okay.
support. I support
So
the
as
idea
a- so
of
as a
traditional-
minister-
traditional marriage.
So
This
as
is
a
blasphemy.
minister with this individual, you are okay with being a black Christian and following this man.
So again, I don't follow nobody with Jesus Christ. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Oh, you follow
I
him
don't follow anybody with Jesus Christ. Let's be clear about that.
because you voted
Now-
down ballot when you voted.
Now,
Correct?
I would also
Republican,
say
correct?
this. I would also say this. Again, you let me know what any of these men who've been elected in this country without fault or without saying. You let me know who that is.
I ain't saying that we don't have that.
Obama.
Everybody has their own faults.
Stop it, Barry. Stop it, Barry.
But-
Barry, come on.
Honestly,
I mean,
you
Barry,
didn't.
come on.
And I am going to pick Obama. I'm going to say that because you didn't hear
You
all
hear
this.
nothing
stuff.
about
They had to.
Obama
They had
pushed
to.
for homosexuality coming out.
No, he did not.
that is an issue.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
I'm
glad we did. No, he did not.
Y'all make such a
When
big
we-
deal.
No, he did
about
not.
Homosexuality.
First of all, you
So
have
I'm
to
gonna-
realize.
the majority of the Republican Party is highly homosexual.
Look,
I think that Tinder app broke
So
or
I
When they
don't-
came,
when they
did you hear
came
about
here.
that? Did you hear about that when the RNC came here?
Come
So
on now.
again,
It's
The
like,
hypocrisy
for
is
them to be
again,
such
so you-
hypocrites about homosexuality.
So,
is because
I,
of the
so
fact
as a
that they're
man,
the ones that
As a man, I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
As a man, I understand what a woman is, and I can define what a woman is.
Yeah,
I'm
I think we
against
all can.
abortion. No, I don't think your side can though. Even when the Supreme Court justice can't tell you what a woman is.
Why not?
Again, I don't know why she couldn't. She said she don't know.
Wait,
Abortion,
who? Who says this?
You know, Tataji Brown,
Ketanji,
or the Miss
Supreme
Brown,
Court
Miss Brown.
Justice,
She said she
Ketanji
could
Yo,
Brown.
define-
Justice
she could
Ketanji
define-
Brown.
she could define a woman.
Give her her due.
So let's be
Give her
clear.
her due.
As a heterosexual man,
Okay,
I believe in traditional marriage and traditional family.
cool.
If you all want to sit there and say he's cool with the homosexual push and all the trans information stuff going on,
No,
that's
see,
fine. That's fine.
see.
I'm not going to stand for it. I support the idea of traditional marriage.
Okay,
So how can
that's
you?
fine, but that's
y'all-
okay.
That's why
That's
I don't
okay
get how
to
y'all
support
say
that.
y'all Christian.
That's cool to support that, my
Because
brother.
are you
But
a
the
Christian?
problem,
Yes,
You
I'm
know,
a Christian.
the problem
Y'all
with that is-
you
the problem with that is,
if
if we are in the country where and I don't like our national anthem, but it says "Land of the free,
Uh-huh.
home of the brave."
Sure.
Correct.
Sure.
If we are in this country, you should be able to love
whoever
who you want to love,
So
and not
whoever
hold
you
on, wait a
want.
minute, and not face discriminatory actions by your government because you're gay or
So-
you're
Because
trans
you
or
choose
whatever.
to like
That
So
doesn't
it's not
happen.
that
So that
it's
doesn't
not that Obama pushed
So-
homosexuality. They pushed equality
so
in this
again, Let's
country.
be clear. Let's be clear here.
That's what
And
the
they-
Democratic
they
Party
don't
stands on.
wanna-
It's
let's be
equality,
clear
and you
here.
cannot
Let's-
and
let's-
you
let's-
cannot
It's all said and
discriminate
done. Y'all talking
against
about who they
individuals.
sleeping with.
Let's be clear here.
You
Let's-
cannot be in
Let's
people's
be-
bedrooms.
let's be
That's the
clear here.
problem.
The
Worried about
party-
their
let's-
bedroom.
Let's be clear.
Fantasies
So let's
from
be
the
let's be
Republicans.
clear. So my party is not my faith.
Okay.
So again, there are more people on the Republican side that I align with on my faith because Republicans is not a religious organization. Secondly, I will tell you this again.
But-
The idea of equality gave more rights to individuals that actually took rights away from the blacks, right?
What rights?
So-
What rights was
right.
taken away from
How
black
is
people?
that? How did
rights-
they
What
take
rights?
away?
What rights?
The-
Name me two rights that was taken away from black
Yeah.
people.
So again,
Please tell me.
Again,
Name
I
two
would say
rights.
this again.
Name two
If
rights.
you want to support that
Sir,
that side,
name
that's
two
fine.
rights
Just be
that was
saying
taken
stuff.
away from
That's
black
fine.
people.
That's fine.
Y'all gonna go
Name
to hell.
two rights.
Y'all
So,
judging
Name
the
two rights that was taken from black
my
people.
right to say
He still ain't gave
my-
two rights yet.
My right as a parent to say I don't want my child exposed to that.
Oh
I
yeah,
have that
you
right.
have every right to say that.
That right
Yeah,
is taken
I
away.
agree.
It was not taken away.
That right,
It was
you,
not
you
taken
can't
away.
do that right now.
How?
We had to
How was it taken
solidify.
away?
We had to solidify religious speaking or religious talks
Freedom.
in the church. We had to re-solidify that churches are to be left alone in their religious, I guess, dogma, if you want to call it that way. when parents are being pushed out of the school, saying you
How?
can't because
Watch
the
this though.
teachers unions
Watch this though.
have said that we bring
Watch
in
this, though.
this whole inclusive.
Come on, Jordan. I think I know what you're gonna come with.
I was waiting for this
Quality
from last week. I was
conversation.
thinking about it all
Parents'
week.
parents' rights are being trampled over.
They are.
and saying that you can't tell the school on
Yeah.
how to educate your child,
Sure.
because we're the school and we're the ward of them while they're with us, and we know what's best for them.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure,
Jordan, hit it.
sure. So I'm just you use your logic against you. Then we live in a free country, and you're free to make your own economic and private choices, right? So if you feel as that parent that you don't want to go into a public entity that allows choice like that, then you have every right to take your student out of that school and go to a private school that teaches
No.
what you want to teach.
You
You can't mandate in a public institution what everyone else does.
So as a parent, you cannot also force that curriculum on me because
No,
there
it's being
hold on,
forced
how
on
much
you.
you
Not being
you are
forced.
forcing it because
How?
again,
It's not.
You don't have to
the
choose
parents-
to take your child
the
to that
parents
school.
were never included in the decision making. Parents are never polled on
So
it.
what if
And
the
you said-
parents
and
were
you said-
polled
and
on
you
it?
said you want to go talk to the people. So if the people, and especially black men in particular, say, I don't want nobody over sexualizing my child, period. Be it hetero or homo. That's my job as a parent. Teachers, you don't have the right
They were
to do
teaching
that.
us
You don't have,
about
no, you don't.
home
So again,
they teach
hold on,
fine.
hold on, hold
We
on.
have sex
Hold
ed.
on,
Fine.
hold
Class
on,
together.
hold on, hold
They
on,
taught us
Fine.
hold on,
That's
hold
in high
on.
school.
I
Y'all
don't want,
okay
I
with
don't
them
want
teaching
that.
it if
No,
as
no,
long
no,
as
no,
it's
no, 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 no,
heterosexual.
no. I
But
don't
if they're
want,
teaching about, hey,
we don't want it,
others-
period. We
others,
don't want it, period. And you all, as these
which
educators,
y'all did
and
though.
y'all say, no, we
Can I-
have the right.
Did you
to
not
offer-
have
offer the
health
Can I
class
ask the
when you was
question?
in
You
high
don't, you don't
school?
opt out. You
Can
just
I ask a
freshman
question?
year.
I got a question too. I just want to ask a clarifying question.
Yes, ma'am.
But you all want little girls to be grown at 14.
Yeah, that was legislation that they tried to pass.
That was
too.
legislation. That was
Yeah.
legislation that they tried
Absolutely.
to pass.
Yes, you do.
Absolutely.
We want little girls to be able to wrestle little girls. Not boys.
That's not
No,
what the
That's
legislation
awful.
was about.
Y'all don't want to talk about that.
Republicans
No,
want
that's not what
girls
she's
to be
talking about.
considered
That's not
adults
what
at
she's
14.
talking
I'm just
about.
asking.
though.
I'm just
That's not what
asking.
she's talking about.
Tay, break it down for Mag over here. What you?
I have no idea what
that
you're
down.
He's deflecting.
Sound like Trump to me. Now you don't know. Okay.
Trump, you know what he was doing with the little girls.
What
And-
are you talking about?
Oh Jesus.
So the Epstein files, you know nothing about that.
So that's your question. You had a question about the Epstein file.
Before that, they
So
wasn't
what's the
saying,
14? What's the 14? What's that? What's the 14? What is
That's
it?
who it's dealing with. That's who
So
it's
you're saying that's the Epstein file?
No, no.
So she said she
There
said
was
yes, she said
legislation.
yes.
I'll explain
Hold
it.
on, what
There was
legislation? Hold on. So one, you both. If she's talking about Epstein's file, you're talking about law, right?
She just gave an example.
before Epstein
So
file.
which one is it?
Before the Epstein file, he can take over after that. However, they wanted to say that 14 was old enough.
Yes.
Who wanted to say that?
Trump and Friends.
Let's look it
The
up.
Republicans.
Don't
I
worry.
forgot what
I'll
they
look
made
it up.
It was in
Don't
the state
worry. I'll
Yeah.
look
where
it
they
up
were
for
trying
you.
to pass legislation
So
that
again-
they can make
again-
their own sexual choices at 14.
You
That they
again,
can legally
again,
get married. That was a
again,
Republican.
And if you don't
push
like that,
idea.
and if you don't like that state being able to push what they call
You can leave, right?
legal-
you can
start-
leave.
You can leave.
You
Thank
can
you.
leave.
So
At
if you
least
don't
hold-
like
at
that
least
in
hold
public
the people.
education,
At least
take
hold
your
the
kid
people.
out of
At
that
least- at
school
least
and
hold
go
the
somewhere
people.
else.
At least take it to the
They did it
referendum
though. They
and let
just
the people
said
say let's
they
go
did it
pass.
though.
Today was about party versus integrity, and I do want to know, like, you are okay because you're just deflecting right
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm just giving you answer you don't like. I'm just giving you answer you don't like.
Not that.
Well, I can't be the master of every subject matter.
I
I'm
mean,
just a
You're
mere
not.
man.
Hey,
I'm just a mere man.
HR
There we go.
514-119 Congress 2025 to lower the age at which a minor may be. That's the wrong one. Sorry.
I know
Wrong.
what you're talking about.
We getting
You
there.
mean the minor that can say he's a girl and get his penis removed? That's the
No.
minor. So, okay, I got you
No,
now.
nothing
I
about
got
that.
you now. I got you now. You mean that legislation? I got you now. Yeah,
He know what we talking about. He's just trying to
definitely
deflect
knows.
here.
I'm just
He know what we
saying,
talking about.
So we don't get to the
that
point.
legislation. You mean I'm just that legislation? Okay.
I do want to know because you all are really locked in to being a Republican.
Yeah,
I'm really locked in to be a conservative. That's like
All of that.
I got a problem with that.
You see going on, even the Epstein file. You're not fool. You're very intelligent. There, he's going through and having them remove all these pieces
Redacted.
because he's in it. You know that.
so. I don't
And
know.
so, and wait, hold
The
on.
president
So
that
it's
you
Bill
voted
Clinton. I know
for
y'all gonna
is
say
a
that.
child
Bill
molester, bro.
Clinton's in there
Point
too.
blank
Yeah,
period.
everybody. Michael Jackson was in there. We
I-
saw
I-
Diddy.
I
Everybody.
wanna-
Okay.
Everybody was there.
I want to
If it's
see.
harmless and he was doing little to
That's
nothing,
wrong.
why not just let it go? Why not
Well,
let it go?
that's the thing I would ask the Democrats. When they
They're
have
Here it is.
Anybody
Hold
that
on,
is on
hold
that
on.
list,
So-
Here it
go
is.
ahead and put everything out. So
He
now-
did.
Again,
He did.
when
Bill
the
said, put it
Democrats,
out
the
there.
Democrats had under Joe Biden 4 years to release all the
He
files.
said, put it
They didn't do
all
it.
out.
That's fine. I'm just giving
But
you.
your buddy ran
I'm
on
just
this,
giving
man.
you-
Buddy
He
ran
ran on it.
Buddy said, hey,
Hey, I'm gonna release him
That's
on
a-
day one.
I think it was a
Hey, he
marvelous.
waited a
it
whole
was a
almost a year
marvelous
like
political
see what
strategy.
happened was.
It was-
All right,
it
I
Hey,
was
found
he hit us with the
marvelous.
nigga response.
It was-
marvelous.
The bill is
Oh, here we
HR
go.
6401
You sure you got-
titled
you sure you got
X
the right
Age
one?
of Consent Notification Act,
Okay.
where they were saying that they're going to lower the age of statutory involvement, sexual relations
Sure.
for women from 18 to 14.
So
Young
that's
women
cool.
from 18 to 14.
You okay?
That is
So-
proposed
okay with that?
legislation.
As a father.
So what I do know is this.
You know, are
Are
you
you
okay
okay
with
with
it?
that?
Is it yes or no?
I do give some caveats. So let me set up a scenario. I do know this in working in juvenile corrections. There are a lot of 17-year-olds or 18-year-olds who are dating 17-year-olds. A lot of boys are put on the registering. Let me finish the point. A lot of young men and women who maybe not had the most parental involvement got caught up in inappropriate activities with each other. And these young men in particular are being charged as adults, being put on the registry. And so we need to understand.
Justification to lower the age
So
to
again,
14.
to me, that's the question of should all these young men be put on, as pedophiles because he's 18 and she's 17. He's a senior and she's a junior. They've been together.
So
So
what does that have to
That's,
do with
that's a
asking the
byproduct
question,
of that
are you
bill,
okay
sure.
with the age
That's
of
not the
14?
essence of what the
That
bill
has
is,
nothing to
though.
do
where it came
That's
from,
not
right?
the-
Where it came from, right? That's where it came from.
No, that's not where it came from.
Where'd it come from? Where'd it come from?
It came from with all this stuff happening now.
Let's
So
tell
that
me where it came
I'm
from.
gonna tell you,
Child molesters, period.
Tell me where it came from.
that's where it came
Republican
from.
Party
Thank
is a
you.
child
It's a
molestation.
preemptive. If you read between the lines,
No, read between the lines.
but
Where-
you
where
read
was the
between the lines
motivation?
all the time.
What's the
You just did.
motivation?
You just
The-
gave
I'm
us
about
the
to tell you what the motivation
motivation
is.
about that, man.
I would like to
Tell
see
you
Grown
what the
men
motivation
want to
is.
marry
Okay.
them little girls down south.
It's about marriage, about consensual sex, about all that stuff. It's a preemptive measure for this. It's not the Epstein file, but it's related because there's this whole thing around the sex trafficking. But what they're trying to do is create legislation and throw it out there preemptively, so that when all these names come out of all
They
these
won't be able to
high-powered
charge
people
him.
from both parties,
So I don't
sure.
know.
Yeah, both parties.
So that there's
So what I
legislation
wanna
that
see-
says, oh, they did it,
what
but
I
it's
wanna
okay
see-
because the law says it's
The
okay
law
if you're
says it's
14.
okay.
What I want to see,
14.
what I want to see is the case study, how the legislation came to the hearings, what was all being here in the
Well,
hearing.
ask
So
me
you
the
can't-
question.
You need a case
Ask me
study
the
to
same
see why
question.
they want to
The
lower
answer
the
is no,
age
it's
to
a dumb law.
That's what you
Because-
said. That's what the
here's
question was.
dumb
Are
law.
you
question
okay
again.
with
Are you
I
okay
just
with
told,
that?
I just
I'm not
told
okay
you all
with
He
it.
this.
said he
Like
needs
you
to
said,
see
a
a
war
case
style and
I
stuff.
think-
You didn't answer.
You should.
Yes or no?
No homosexual.
think-
They okay
I
with 14
think-
year olds.
I think
That's okay.
I think this.
You
There
think-
should
okay, let me hear
be
this.
there should
Let me hear
be
this.
some compassion.
For
There-
compassion.
There should be some compassion for these 17 and 60-year-olds.
What about the 14-year-old women
Let me
who are being raped?
Let me finish. I think again, we need to have compassion in a judicial system that you all clearly don't support. That again, when you have 16
Okay.
and 17-year-olds in high school doing things
That's
that ought not to
false,
be
though.
There's
doing,
no
we should-
17-year-old be sleeping with no 14-year-old that's in middle school, regardless.
brother. I'm not going to argue
regardless
with
of
you
the
on
fact
that.
what you just
I'm not going to argue with you. But I am saying
because of
that
18 and 17-year-olds getting charged.
so I wonder if that's the motivation. So I want to know
just a bunch
y'all
of
can't tell
sick
me that.
men.
Y'all can't tell me that.
It's just a bunch of sick
Y'all can't
Republicans
hold on.
tell me
who
that.
like little girls.
What you mean we can't tell you that?
You can't tell me what's the motivation behind this piece of legislation.
I'm telling you.
Because they want to date little
No,
girls.
You got to tell me. You got to
But
show
then-
me who
The Republican who came up with it want to date little girls.
It just says late 2025.
And
So
I find it hilarious.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I find it hilarious so
So
that you
I would love to say. I
that
would
you
love
say
to
that
say. I would love to see how.
But
we
they
wanna do-
Christians,
I
though.
want to see how
I
we
gave
do.
y'all a new name. It's called the GOP, the Grand Old Pedophiles, because y'all are sitting here,
making every excuse.
defending
Pedophiles.
Hold on.
So I
And then
don't.
you
I
just
don't
said,
support-
let's have some compassion.
For
But
these
then,
children.
but when
For
we
these
just
children.
hold on,
I
when
would
we
say
just
these
talked
children.
about individuals who identify with the LGBTQ,
You're trying to say,
no
hey, because
compassion.
a couple
We
don't have no
18-year-olds,
compassion for them.
17-year-olds
So
got
hold on.
arrested.
So
We don't have no
We
compassion.
want
hold
to
on.
lower the
So
age to
hold on.
14.
We have no compassion for them.
I want to see.
But you want compassion for pedophiles.
So again, I want to see.
That's not how insanity works.
I want to see a system that is a compassionate system for young people who have not fully even developed themselves mentally.
That is not the premise
So
behind
again,
that.
that ain't the
legislation.
premise behind that
You all can't tell me
Not
what
the
it
premise.
is.
That is
You all
that is
Because
not
they
what
woke
it
up
is.
and said, you know
You all
what?
Then
can't
you
tell
know
me
it
what
Because I
is.
like sleeping with little girls. That Republican said, I like sleeping with little
I'm just
girls.
saying. I
I'm
mean,
gonna
how
see
many?
if I can-
I'm just saying.
Because
I'm
I'm
just saying.
bold and the Senate
I'm
is
just
ran by
And
saying.
you
you.
I
all
know-
and your party
I
constantly
know-
pushes
I know
people.
plenty of
Roy
people-
Moore comes to
I
mind.
know. I know
Down in
plenty- let me-
Alabama,
let me
you
finish
guys
the point. I know plenty of
continually
people-
push pedophiles to
I know
run.
plenty of
Yes.
people- I know plenty of people, probably even in this room, and when you want to be honest with the Lord, all you so-called believers, when
Yes.
did you lose your virginity?
I lost my
Okay.
virginity. My
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was 16.
But
in high
we
school.
all look,
You
well,
pedophile!
no,
You
we-
pedophile! You pedophile!
That's not a pedophile.
You
No,
pedophile!
You're not
You
a pedophile.
No, I don't know how so.
That's not a pedophile.
You pedophile!
You can't call me a
No.
pedophile.
But we are not the
not
ones
a
running
pedophile.
around basing everything, our beliefs and what the ideology off of religion, off of
Correct.
your beliefs as
No,
a
I'm
Christian.
just saying it.
You
I'm just
okay
saying.
with
When you
them
say
born
you
at
just
age
said
of
you
rapists?
admitted you just committed a felony. You just committed a felony because you had underage sex and you couldn't consent to underage sex. You could be locked up.
You do know we're talking about Trump having sex with the
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about this.
Oh,
legislation.
oh boy.
We're talking about-
I love it.
We
I
talking
know
about
that.
legislation
I love
that they
it. I
tried
love
to
it. Man.
pass,
Jesus.
and as well as the fact that he's okay with support
So you again,
a man that
what's
was
the
found
terminology?
criminally
What's
liable
the terminology?
for rape,
And I'll let finance do help. me
grabbing
with
him
this
by
since,
the boom.
since he want to know something. he thinks he know everything.
Grab him by the feet.
What's that term? What's that term called? Causation, but not
Deniability? Or
no
what-
causation. You can't say because of this, then that. You can't say, well, this has to come because the Epstein file is coming out, so therefore this must be something.
I know what you're talking about.
Causation is no correlation or something to that fact. You're trying to say, so since this came out in 2025,
No.
this must be something to protect the people in the Epstein file. You can't say that.
No,
you can't
that's-
say that. You can't say that. What's the
They
term,
doing
my
it, they
friend?
playing-
What's the
they
term,
trying
my
to
friend?
It's something with causation and correlation.
Okay,
and, you're right. I mean,
I'm just saying
that
so, because
still
you
is
all-
not a
all
relevant
the conspiracy theories
argument.
like, oh, I know what it's for. I know what it's for. All the conspiracy- I know what it's for. I know what it's for. I'm just saying.
It's not a conspiracy.
all I
it's
know
fair. It's
is-
in writing. They trying to pass legislation because yes, I do want to know. I personally want to know who my fucking name is in that file. I want to
And
know
you should-
who's
and you
going
should-
to the
and you should be
island.
cared
And
about.
I don't care if
you
it was-
should care
And I don't
about.
care if it's
Who
a
was?
Democrat. I
Who
don't
was?
care if
Right,
it's a
correct.
So
Republican.
you
Wrong
want
is
Your
wrong.
name is wrong, but you okay.
So you want to see?
Still don't do that.
So you want to see?
Justify.
I don't run for
I
it.
want
you
to
wanna
see everyone
more.
found
You want
guilty.
to have a
Absolutely.
You want to continue to see a pipeline of prisons for young people making
Ain't no
unfortunate
young.
decisions.
I want to see. I
No.
ain't
Getting
said nothing
pregnant,
about no pipeline.
having-
No, young
having-
people going to
having
jail.
more
I am
sex.
talking
You
specific
wanna
about
see
all of
them-
those
No.
who were
I'm talking
involved
about that
in.
legislation. I'm talking about that piece of legislation he's talking
That,
about.
that
I'm not talking
legislation
No,
It
is
ain't got
not
nothing
what
to
that
do with-
legislation
I'm talking
said.
about
It's not gonna prevent no 18-year-old, no 17-year-old.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that.
I'm not talking
They
about
can.
that.
They will do that. They will do that.
What you're
would
saying
do that.
has no
That would
correlation
do-
to why they came out. with
You.
that
So what's your
legislation.
correlation?
That's yours.
What's your-
Assuming.
what's
I
your
ain't got no correlation.
Yes, you are. You have a
I'm just
theory.
saying
You have
that
a theory.
Republicans are
You have
not-
a theory.
My theory, I don't have a theory. It's blatantly that they're
So
trying to lower
again,
the age
so how do you know
of
that?
sleeping with women from 18.
Because it
So
says
again,
that they're trying to
so
lower
who-
the age of
who-
consent
who-
for the minor.
You don't know. You don't know
Why
that.
do you want to
You
lower
don't
the
know
age?
that.
But the
You don't know
legislation
that.
says
So what about again the
It's no other
17-year-old?
reason.
So the 17-year-olds should go to prison.
That's something that needed to be put out.
So we ain't
you
talking
gotta
about
think
nothing. We doing nothing about inflation. We're not doing nothing about inflation. We're not doing nothing
I
about
think
the
the-
housing
You can
market.
say that. You can
the
say
point
that.
is
You can
It's
say that.
nothing in there
But
that
one
they
thing-
ever states
For
that.
one thing, it's
Or
HR.
that
For one thing,
shows
one thing
that.
it says HR. So that should let you know off the top already.
which is what
HR means House of Representatives.
Yeah.
House of Representatives always throw up some crazy. That's always
true, but that
That's
comes
right.
from who in the house though.
It's your party.
again, I don't know who. I don't know who offered that.
That was a Republican
Hey,
sponsored.
it could be again. I
Just
wanna,
like how you
I
say who
wanna see-
runs the city
I
of
wanna
Milwaukee.
see. I want to see.
That was-
Who runs the house?
I want
The
to
house
see.
is ran by the
I want to
Republicans.
see
Mike Johnson
I
and
want
them.
to see criminal justice reform and sentencing.
You don't know what that look like.
I
Though.
want to
Y'all
see
don't know what
things
it look
made.
like. though. You want to see
I
that?
want to see criminal
But-
justice reform. I thought y'all was against, for criminal justice reform.
Yes, we
Okay,
are.
lowering
We are.
penalties, revisiting these type of cases. So the guy who's 16 and a boy 16 and a girl 15, so he go to prison, put on the registry. So y'all don't.
But
want that?
there's no high cases
There's no. You don't.
of
You don't.
16-year-olds
you
being
don't-
arrested.
This is
17
you
to
don't-
8.
hold
There's
on.
no-
You can't
where's
say
the
that.
data Where's the
You
data
got
that
it.
shows
How
that?
There you go.
Do you know how many
This
young
is
men
what they
right
do.
now?
How many
This is
young
what
men
they do.
that's
They
in
take
jail
they
right
take
now
they take an argument
in
that's
jail
up
from
here.
18 because of
You don't know how
and that's
many-
the reason why
You
they
don't know
think
how
that-
many.
This is
You
how
don't
we
know
get
how
distracted.
many.
I don't know because
It's a
it's not
huge
high
number. It is a huge
What's the
number.
number?
Being charged with
What's the
That's
number?
a high number.
What is the number?
This is how we get
Jordan was saying
distracted.
it's perfect.
I'm just saying we get distracted because we're taking the intent of what a law or legislation proposal is supposed to be and going into this hypothetical, whatever you're trying to say, and then that takes this conversation
Jordan,
10 miles away from
so
what it's
what do you
supposed
think
to be.
Leonard's trying to say? Since
I told you what the legislation was trying to say.
Saying what then?
From reading what it
yours
from
for
actually
pedophiles.
reading what it
Use the
says,
terminology
it
that-
says to lower the consent of minors from 18 to 14.
and what
That's what it says.
As a result of that, you say that's for pedophiles, right?
I didn't say it was for
Okay, I'm saying,
pedophiles.
are you going to say?
but
Are you going to say
In context, if you look at in context of why it was out there and what it means,
correlation. You can't say there you go. You can't say this.
but you
because of
can't
that.
just say that and just like, oh, you can't make a point that has nothing to do with
So that's what you're
arbitration
doing with this, though.
just to make a conversation.
You are trying to say there's a connection.
And we're
You said
again,
there's a connection.
now the
18-year-olds
conversation
in
is
jail
derailed
for
because
You
the
don't know
minor
that?
person wants to
You
come
don't
here
know
and
that.
throw
I
some
know plenty
bullshit.
of- I do
How
know
many? Where's the
More,
number?
more,
Where's the number?
part of
Please,
it,
where's
part of
the
it,
number?
part of it because they're minor.
Where's the number?
How, what's the word?
Megyn Kelly, on Fox News?
That
has-
Oh, she defended it.
Who's in the pregnant?
Pregnancy.
Who's in the
Yeah,
pregnant?
she defended it.
Someone
Yeah.
part of their age. 17, it's
Oh, what?
17, 18.
So if those young men were
Because-
charged, they could
because
be charged as
They tied themselves
Pedophiles.
up into a
The
pretzel
parents
trying to
will have to
defend
go
the
no, they
nonsense.
won't. No,
Yes,
they
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 do.
be
Defending the
charged as
nonsense.
pedophiles.
But how they're not doing, they're not charging people
Defending
for that.
nonsense. Yeah,
Okay.
he said that's be done.
All right, y'all. We
Hey,
gonna
I can't do these more conversations like that because this was too much for me. Like that, we have to get to a point again where we start talking about what actual solutions are.
Correct.
And
Right.
where do we come to the middle to
I like
find
to
out
hear
this
that.
what it is?
Yeah.
Like, but we can't be
But
like,
you can't have solutions if you don't first address the problem and have a breakdown of where the problem came from
Jesus.
and how to fix the
right.
problem.
And when we try to do that, you
No, no,
throw
no,
some
no,
shit
no,
in
no.
there.
You
throw some
wanna-
monkey
you
wrench
wanna-
around
you wanna
like,
protect-
Yeah, like
You're
they're
being
eating the
protective.
cats, they eat
Well,
the
no, the
dogs.
school
When you
system-
get
Right.
pushed into
But
when you
Fuller
get pushed
was
into the
good,
wall.
though, and
Dr.
you don't need to
Howard
go
Fuller
the
was a
whole
great
system.
superintendent.
And this
Yes,
is
he
not
was.
good. And this-
Absolutely was a
if you're
great
going to be radical to fix the changes and make the change happen, then you must be radical all the way through and not be
Absolutely.
selective. Like, well, we can't disrupt the whole apple cart. Like,
So
no,
you-
have to.
So are you saying that Dr. Howard Fuller was a selective radical?
No,
Is
I'm
that
not
what you're
saying that.
saying?
What I'm
He's a
saying to you
Republican.
is
He's a
this.
Republican.
You cannot continue to say you're trying to protect the superintendent. Like, oh no, he was great, but the kids failed. I don't know what
No,
number.
I-
what-
no, we didn't say
I don't
that.
know what Dr. Phil
I
did. as far as
definitely
the
didn't
numbers.
say that.
I'm not
Didn't say
saying
at
that.
all.
We
What
never
I'm
said
saying
that.
is you cannot try to be protective. Like, oh, protect him, but not her.
If you all debated like this, like where he couldn't move the goalpost, and he had to say,
The actual
So, make sure-
topic.
with what's going on.
Okay.
and he had to stay there without bringing up other parties. And
Okay.
But you
So-
need to have, but you have precedence. So you cannot give an answer if you lack to have, if you lack, if you no.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
What you don't want to do is this.
That's what they do.
You don't want to talk
Because
about the precedents.
he
Because
never-
I can tell you why. You say,
Say
well,
what?
is this wrong? I said, wait a minute. If you look at the precedents of something happening, this can't be wrong because we already done it before. So you can't say, well, he got to stay in this box. Answer this question.
Well,
Because I can turn back and say, if you want to call it the whataboutism, that's another word for it.
No one's.
Whataboutisms.
You're,
And that's
this
what they
is
do, though.
projection, y'all.
Yeah.
That's all this is. This
At its
conversation,
finest.
this whole thing is a circular
finest.
projection around
I'm
you.
just saying.
Circling
Just-
around.
Like he
Yeah.
can't even tell you. He can't even say one thing a bad thing about Trump. Can
I
you?
can't say that.
Okay, one.
If you can,
Real quick,
if
real
you
quick.
sitting here defending the consent
You don't
age
like
from
who?
18 to 14 from
You don't
women,
like his mouth sometimes.
I don't like all that.
Yeah.
I can do less tweeting. Yeah, I can do that.
Less tweeting.
I can do that.
this is why I stopped watching CNN. by
Jesus
the way.
Christ.
This is
Right.
just to
But
be-
tell me what's wrong.
Okay, so
Obama,
I'll-
it's too clear
Oh,
about
Obama, right?
It's too
There
clear
we go.
about
Obama.
They cannot. The Republicans is
There he
obsessed
is,
with that man.
Obama.
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 Obama ain't been president for 10 damn years.
10
And we
years,
still
bro.
feel the effects
Damn.
of it. We still feel the effects of him on the trail.
The positive effect.
So-
Y'all just
So
hated it.
you're
Obamacare.
saying we're
Obamacare.
feeling the effects of Obama, but not Trump in his first term. Is that what you're saying?
Again, the
Especially
first
those
year,
With that whole Job
No,
Tax
you
Act of
Don't give me
2017.
the soliloquy. Answer the question.
Thank you.
Your argument is that we're still feeling the impacts of Obama from 2008 2012, but yet we're not feeling the impacts of Trump from his first term.
we're feeling everything from Trump's first term, and we're going to pick up from the first term too and finish the job.
You need to be a paid
Okay.
spokesperson for sure. Okay.
Orlando's wife is a Democrat. and
Jesus Christ.
And I want
That's
y'all-
most black.
How they do it?
Yeah,
How they do it?
Orlando actually believes half the stuff he says for the so.
No, I
Him,
get
him
it.
nor Travis.
everything.
Travis Clark. I just believe they, yeah.
I believe
So,
everything I say.
Are you able to come back next week?
Man, I can come back.
Are you coming back next week? You coming back next week, Jay?
Y'all can't.
Come
you
on,
can't
man.
Handle the truth. Get out the kitchen.
Come on, man. Don't leave me
You
hanging.
can't handle it. You can't handle it.
As long as we refrain
I can
from
come back next
No,
week.
no,
Okay.
no.
But my heart
No,
can't
no.
take
icons,
this back and forth
what I
because we
call
have
it,
to get to a place of facts.
You're not giving.
I-
You're not giving facts.
Honestly,
You're not giving facts.
honestly, Jordan, I feel you on that,
and
bro.
pure
But
solutions.
you
You're
have
not-
an
you're not
administration.
solutions.
You have
I don't have
administration.
You
solutions.
don't have solutions.
You
I
have an
have a lot of solutions.
administration
You don't have
that
solutions.
will never give you facts.
right.
So, and that's who he
What do you do?
follows.
Well,
So,
again,
unfortunately,
again,
you're not gonna get it.
if y'all-
Okay.
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 that's
Let's
perfect.
do that then. Okay. So for the folks out in TV land, you heard what we're gonna do next week. We're gonna have some questions and hopefully some answers and
Well,
solutions.
send the questions early so I can.
No, we ain't doing that.
Send the
But hey,
questions
He
early.
said I need to be prepped.
thank y'all for
Get ready.
coming.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
Merry
y'all for
Christmas.
coming.
Merry
Y'all have a
Christmas.
good holiday. Merry Christmas. Stay safe. And most of all, stay black for my black folks that's out. Just stay black.
Trying to say
Ain't nothing wrong with being black. We ain't got to apologize
Yeah,
for being
I'm
black.
black and
We're
it's-
beautiful.
It's okay
We
to
are
be white,
wonderful.
too.
We
It's
are
okay to be
great.
white.
But say what?
It's okay. JD Vance.
Hi, Mom.
JD